Oops, a little bit late. Hello, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. My name is Rob. Thanks for stopping in. It's Tuesday, 2 o'clock here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, for those who don't know where I am. If you're new here, welcome. It's good to see you. Good to have you here. If you're returning, welcome back. What's new? YouTube is hard. That's my thumbnail. YouTube is hard. And I got called out by Scott. I guess somebody, Brian Johnson, I think, talked about that in one of his videos that I probably watched. And that's why that topic was on top of my head. But anyway, so I guess that's what we do. We borrow ideas from one another. But anyhow, what's new? What's new with you guys? Have you calmed down yet a little? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'd love to get confirmation that you guys can hear me. That would be awesome. Hey, Farmer Marshall, how you doing? Hey, everyone. Salute, loud and clear. Thank you very much, Matt. Okay, so what's on today? Today, I'll be here for a couple hours. I will answer any questions that you have. Good to see still some people, not everybody has given up on this YouTube dream. Lots of people were saying they were going to, and perhaps some, or even lots, did. Not too sure, but I think once you put things in perspective, and that's what I've been trying to do with my videos, just trying to shed some light on the perspective and what really matters. Hopefully that has helped some of you. And from the messages that I'm getting, I think that it has. And I'll get into that, but let me first jump into the chat, see who's here. Actually, I'm just looking at the current 1 year in, changed my life. Awesome. Construction Comedy Club, love to hear that. No way I'm giving up, Retirement Road. Nothing has changed on my end. Good to hear it. Good to hear it. That's the right attitude. Here's a question right off the top. How are watch hours counted? What are the requirements? Well, how are they counted? Well, I mean, the short version is if somebody watches your video for 5 minutes, if it's a 10-minute video, but they only watch 5 minutes of it, that counts as 5 minutes watched. And then the watch time is just everything added up, all the views that people have, everybody who's watched your video, a part of it or all of it or whatever, you just add all that up. That's your watch hours. Now, they also talk about what watch hours count, like not all watch hours or watch minutes qualify. And what you get into there is, if a bot, like AI or something, a bot channel watched your video, they won't count that. I believe if you watch your own videos, that likely won't count. Don't know that for sure, but it's a pretty safe guess. Anybody trying to circumvent the system or get around the rules by, telling a whole bunch of people, hey, play my videos, put it on repeat and just keep watching it. Like YouTube knows, right? They can tell who's engaged and who's not. So, and the other thing is, from time to time, channels get deleted and canceled for whatever reason. If channels broke the rules, they might get deleted and kicked out of the system. So, presumably there's a creator behind that channel, if there is, and if they were watching videos, once the channel's gone, any videos that they watched, those watch hours would likely go away and not count. Okay, and that's why, like, a lot of people will tell me, say, hey, my watch hours have changed. They're different today than they were yesterday. Well, the number one main reason for that is it's a moving window. The 365-day window moves. So every new day, we lose a day off of the back end, 365 days ago. So if the day you're losing had more watch hours than the new day you gained, your qualified watch hours of the last 365 days goes down. That's the obvious one. The less obvious one is, when YouTube is going out and doing their audits, when they're finding channels that they need to delete, AI-based channels perhaps, or for whatever reason. They delete channels, therefore the views and watch time that were spent by that fake viewer or whatever, they get deleted. So YouTube is always making adjustments. And this could take several days, weeks, even months, right? So So anything, bottom line is anything that you see in your YouTube studio in terms of analytics, take it with a grain of salt. That's like a best guess at that point, and YouTube will dial it in. Like for those of you who are monetized, you probably know that once a month ends, you don't necessarily get paid on what everything says for that month on that last day, right? They don't actually send out money for like 3 weeks later. And a good chunk of that time is just to make sure that the numbers all settle down and they know exactly what they should count and what's not going to get counted. So there you go. Anyways, let's jump into the chat. Hello, how are you doing? The Dirt Princess, hello. NB Rider 1. Who is Brian B. Johnson? Oh, oops, G. Johnson. Is he a Maritimer? No, he is not. He, I believe, well, he does live in the States. He's another YouTuber. I consider him like an OG YouTuber, somebody I've watched for a long time and learned a lot from. That's who Brian is. And yeah, he's one of the guys who's been making videos about the changes in YouTube. So shout out to Brian. He drops in here sometimes. So shout out to you, Brian, if you happen to be here. Let's see. Hello, Amy. How you doing? And Amy has a question. I guess now's the best time. One of my college professors said there is no such thing as a stupid question. Haha. True. Yes, I would subscribe to that. But yeah, no question? Or was that the question? I agree. If that's a question, I would agree with that. This will be my first time watching your live stream. Sea Liner Restoration, welcome. Good to have you here. I am just aware of the changing rule on the watch hours from your video last week. I liked the roadmap you created for getting to 4,000 hours. Perfect. Awesome. I'm glad you found that helpful. So yeah, so for those who are brand new, YouTube changed the rules on how to get monetized. The new rules don't take effect yet, not until February 1st, but after February 1st of 2027, you're going to need 8,000 watch hours in the last 365 days in order to get monetized. Okay, so for those who don't know, that's what the new rule is going to be. The 1,000 subscriber requirement is not going to change. It's going to stay there. And also what doesn't change is the first tier or first level of monetization, which is 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours. That's to get monetized for fan funding, which would allow you to do things like set up memberships, accept super chats, super thanks, supers, right? All of that can still be done with just 3,000 watch hours and 500 subs. So that's not changing. It's only the full monetization, 4,000 hours, 1,000 subs, which allows you to earn the big one, which is ad revenue, right? So when an ad plays on your video, and people watch that, then YouTube collects the ad revenue and they pay out 55% of what they collect to the creator whose video the ad played on, right? And you can't participate in that. Whoop, excuse me, I'm spitting all over the place. Can't participate in that until you are fully monetized. And you have until February 1st to get monetized with just 4,000 hours. If you don't get there by then it jumps to 8,000 watch hours. So there it is. There it is. And we can talk about it. If you got questions, feel free to ask away. I'm going to put QQQ in here. Oh, I do want to give a shout out to my moderators. Thank you very much, Scott at Winning the Week and Karen at YouTube Over 40 for all you do and keeping the chats going smoothly and dealing with spammers and people who post inappropriate things. Thank you very much. It's awesome. And Catherine is the other moderator. She is here sometimes. I don't see her yet here today. And of course, my son Liam is also a moderator. He reminded me to say that a couple weeks ago. He doesn't show up as often, but when he does, he helps out. Alrighty. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention. For anybody who is going to be in the area or anybody going, I am going to Vid Summit with Liam, actually. The two of us are going to go down. Vid Summit, that is September 29th to October 1st in Dallas, Texas. It's a 3-day conference, so a whole bunch of YouTubers able to network and learn from one another, probably make some videos and just have a good time. So we'll be down there. If any of you are going to be there, I'd love to meet you. That'd be great. And now let's jump into the questions. Remember to put a QQQ in your questions so that I will see it more easily when I filter on that text string. Yep, that's what I just did. So I type QQQ into the search, and then it just shows me only the messages with that in it. So that, thank you, Scott, for the reminder. Here's a question. Started new channel, no impressions after 24 hours. Just my views. This is crazy. That's not a question. But yeah, no impressions after 24 hours. I wouldn't worry about it. Don't worry. I mean, just work on your next video, right? Don't get too caught up in the stats. It's far too early to worry about that. And that could be normal, right? It might take months before they send out that video. People have to be interested in that topic too. And maybe YouTube doesn't quite understand what the topic is yet, based on how you made the video, how you titled it, your thumbnail, and all that stuff. So don't lose hope. Go ahead and make your second video. Forget that first one. Make another one. That's the whole game. That's the whole game. Just keep making videos and be consistent. Dirt Princess, I'm using AI a lot. It's wrong about 70% of the time, stuff I know about. Is Google AI the Walmart version, or are they all this bad? Plants, small engine repair, etc. So how do I answer that? It's hard to, how do I answer? Are they all this bad? I wouldn't even necessarily say it's bad. Here's what to remember. Anybody who's going to use AI, I use AI a lot too, right? But you have to be careful. It's not always going to give you the truth or correct things, right? When you're using an AI, and I'm assuming you're meaning an AI chatbot, and if you said you're using Google's, so that they call theirs Gemini, Microsoft's got one called Copilot, Anthropic's got one called Claude, that's what I use. OpenAI, theirs is called ChatGPT, right? That was probably the first most popular one to hit the market. But they're all pretty much the same. Work slightly different, each have their own characteristics, I guess, but bottom line is they're all kind of the same. But what you have to remember with all these AI tools is it's really just a window into the internet that has a little more smarts than the search engines that we've come to get used to, we've become used to over the last couple of decades. Okay, like I use Claude, and before that ChatGPT, as a search engine to search for things. Now, where does it search? It searches the internet. Guess what? There's a lot of incorrect information on the internet. So if it's on the internet, your AI could find it, right? So that's why you have to be careful. You have to use your own brains. You can't just, AI is not this all-knowing smart thing. It's just, think about it as an advanced search engine, really, right? But now, where I think it does shine is if you can load it up with a bunch of information about you and your business and the way you work and things like that, then it can remember those things, and then you can have conversations with it about you and your own business and what to do next, how to organize things. And it's fantastic with that kind of stuff. Organization is awesome. It'll build things for you, like websites or apps, or it'll even do work on your computer for you if you want it to. I've not gotten into that. That's Claude Cowork, and the other apps would have their own versions of that. I've not done that, but I have played around with Claude Code and built some apps with it, and I've used it to organize things. I use it to get my thoughts in order. If I'm trying to figure out what video to make next. I'm in the middle of figuring out what video to make next. I was hoping to have it recorded before I went live. Didn't happen, so I'm going to do it once this is over, and still hope to post it today, but we'll see. Might be tomorrow. And I use AI for that, right? Just to get my ideas straight and like, what should I do next? My last few videos have been about this, and they've done fairly well, or they haven't, or whatever. Here are my stats. You can plug that stuff in. Where should I go next? So yeah, it's good for that. But if you ask it a question, like tell you, what is the answer of, I don't know, 2 + 2? And if it tells you 5, that's wrong, right? And you have to use your own brain to know that's wrong. So yeah, I guess, The way we interact with AI is only going to change over time. It'll get better, probably, at identifying what's right and what's wrong. Like, the best answer you could give it, like if you're asking it something that you know the answer to, and you know it gave you the wrong answer, just tell it, that's wrong, and I know this because blah, blah, blah. Can you do a little deeper research or something like that? Like, have a conversation. Think about it as an assistant of yours who could very easily look up some incorrect information for you as well, right? So there you go. There you go. Mike's Adventure Sparks. How you doing, Mike? Good to see you here. And yes, put QQQ in the beginning. Thank you for that reminder. Why do AI make common mistakes? Can we use AI to search about historical events or financial data? So yeah, basically what I just said, there's incorrect information on the internet, and therefore you need to be smart about where you get your information. So as far as history goes, like, unfortunately, we live in a world where, depending on where you get your information, history information, news information, whatever, a lot of providers of that kind of information are curating it and trying to spin it in a way to affect people's opinions, okay? And that sucks. Like, I hate that. Like, I just, and I can remember growing up in the 80s, when you watch the news, that's the news. Like, they didn't lean one way or the other, like politically, or didn't have really a hidden agenda. Like, it's like everybody's got an agenda these days, and you have to be smart about where you're getting your news from and where you're getting your information and historical data from. And the only way to do that I can figure right now is you start to understand. Like, you have to be smart about it and actually think when you are, hearing something. Like, does that make sense? Like, question everything. Like, okay, you're telling me something. Like, so history, use history as an example. Okay, this website is telling me something about history. I don't know if I buy that. Let me go try to search that up. And you can plug that into whatever, an AI if you want, or a search engine or whatever, and just start doing your own research. Like, okay, I found where somebody said this. Was that true? Right? Or, you know what I mean? So, unfortunately, we all kind of have to become our own investigators these days. Because otherwise, if we just listen to, what people want to feed us in the news on particular stations, you got to know that they're just telling you what you want to hear in a lot of cases, especially if you get really attached to one news network or website over others, right? So why did I go down this road? I didn't want to. I don't want to get the... Okay, back to the question. Why do AI make common mistakes? Because there's incorrect information on the internet. Because people have put it there to try to affect other people's opinions and try to sway them their way of thinking. Like, that's, I guess, my answer to that. So historical events, just be wary about it. Financial data, I mean, I guess that depends on what you're, like, if you're talking about a publicly traded company, financial data for that should be readily available on renowned sites. Like I mean, start at the top, like the, I don't know. I don't do a lot of financial research, I guess. But just know, like, don't take anybody's word for it unless it's like a top level source and that they know what they're talking about. And that comes in time. So there you go. All right, let's move on. Okay, I answered that one. I answered that. How come I'm getting multiple questions multiple times? Okay, I answered that. No impressions. Yeah, answered that. Hey, Rob, do you find certain times of year are better in terms of views and watch time than others? Certain times of year? I mean, if I said yes, you have to know that would only relate to my channel, okay? Or, I mean, what I hear from other people. So, because it's different for everybody. It really depends on who your audience is, who's watching your videos, what type of person is interested in watching the content that you provide, okay? So, an example, well, I mean, you can just think about, okay. So like in my part of the world, kids go to school like from September through June. Okay. And then July and August are typically the summer months where there's no school. Now, so I'm saying my part of the world, I can imagine in southern climates, perhaps it's different. Perhaps you don't want to be home and enjoying the July and August that are just too hot. But here, July and August, lovely, like great weather. And we send our kids to school in the wintertime. So anyways, leading up to, back to school, people will have sales, like stores would have sales, back to school sales, like clothes and school supplies and all that stuff. And people just start buying stuff. Actually, you know what? A better example is probably the holiday season. So again, my part of the world, holiday season is basically mid-November to the end of December, right? Leading up into Christmas. We have our Thanksgiving in October. I know I'm in Canada. In the US, you have your Thanksgiving in November. And U.S. Thanksgiving is a really, really, really big deal. In the United States, I believe Thanksgiving is, for many, considered a bigger deal than even Christmas time, whereas that's not so much in Canada. In Canada, Christmas is a big vacation. Our Thanksgiving happens like a month before yours does, or a month and a half. It's early to mid-October. Anyway, why am I saying that? See, I go on these tangents, so I hope you guys don't mind. Sometimes I just get talking, and my point is, leading up to the holiday season, and during the holiday season, lots of people buy lots of stuff in Canada and the US anyways. And therefore, advertisers know this. They know you're going to buy stuff in October, November, right? Probably as early as September, stores will start putting sales on, trying to get you to buy their stuff, right? So what's going on in the stores like that also goes on online. Advertisers will ramp up what they spend on ads, right? So advertisers will spend more. They'll start, because they bid on keywords and whatnot, try to get their ads into your videos. And more people will want to advertise towards the end of the summer, getting into autumn and fall. And therefore, that kind of drives the price up. And I wouldn't necessarily more people are watching YouTube videos that time of year, although maybe there's an argument for that. But I think more what happens is the amount of money companies are paying to advertise their products in videos at that time of year is higher. Therefore, YouTubers, people who are monetized, tend to make more money that time of the year, especially if the types of products or companies who are advertising on your videos are for things that people will want to buy for the holiday season. Okay, like gifts. That's the way to think about it. So because of that, yes, there is seasonality to earnings on YouTube. When you said, but you didn't say, you weren't talking about monetizing, you were more talking about views and watch time. For the same reasons, yeah, there could be people who watch videos more certain times of the year than other times of the year. I don't know, I'm probably going to come up with a bad example, but let's say whatever your niche is, the people who are watching videos through the wintertime. Like, let's say you have a hunting and fishing channel, right? And a lot of people are hunting and fishing through the summer. Let's say, I don't know, I don't hunt or fish. But if they did, let's say it was in the summertime. Well, they're out hunting and fishing. Maybe in the off season, they're inside watching videos, how to hunt, how to fish, right? They're watching the videos. So maybe the watch hours go up in the off season. Same thing could be applied to maybe, cruises, right? Like people who travel. Maybe people do a lot of research on traveling certain months of the year. Therefore, there's lots of views happening, lots of watch time happening. But when they're actually on the cruises, they're not watching YouTube videos. They're drinking and eating and swimming and having fun, shooting golf balls out into the ocean or whatever they do. I've never been on a cruise. Maybe someday. So there you go. Here we go. Question, do you think it's better to work our ass off before February 1st to get monetized, even if we were starting from 0 watch hours? I think it's good to work your butt off anytime, regardless of the February 1st deadline. Regardless. If you want to make this work your butt off and make it happen. Yes, now is the time to get after it, right? To go for it. And if you get there, awesome. If you don't, like if you're at 0 now and you get to, let's say, 3,500 watch hours by February, that's fantastic. Yeah, you would have missed the deadline, but you're growing and you're growing fast. Like that's great. As long as you keep at it, that train's not going to slow down. It's only going to keep speeding up. So you're going to get there. You're going to get there. It's a matter of time. But you got to work at it, right? It's like I said in the thumbnail, YouTube is hard. It's not easy. I think a lot of people, and I'm willing to bet that a lot of people who are giving up on YouTube right now because of the change in rules, they probably didn't have it in them to make this work anyways. Don't be mad at me. Speaking the truth. People who don't think they can get to 8,000 hours probably don't have it in them to make it work anyways. That's just the way I see it. You've got to be willing to put in the work. You got to be willing to try to get better. There is no such thing as a free lunch. All the cliches, whatever. You got to put in the work and get better and make videos people want to watch. If you get stuck in a rut and let's say you made it to 2,000 watch hours and you've been there for several years, you got to do something different to break out of that cycle. You can't keep doing more of the same things that you're doing to maintain your 2,000 hours. You got to try something new. What you're doing is working for 2,000 watch hours a year, but it's not working for more than that. So try something new. And when I say try something new, it doesn't mean you have to switch your niche. That is one option. But another option is make different types of videos. If you weren't putting your face in your videos, start doing that. That, I think, is the biggest thing you can do. But if you're already doing that and it's not working, try a different type of video. Maybe you're comfortable where you make your videos. Maybe it's at your desk like I am here, looking at the camera, comfortable spot. Nobody's ever in this room but me. And I can do my thing and I'm comfortable. But actually going outside, ooh, that might be uncomfortable. I don't think I'd like that. I might run into real people, right? I'm okay with it now, but at the time, there was a time that, I would not make a video outside. That was something I tried, and it ended up, I really enjoyed it. I mean, the first time was difficult, but anything worthwhile is going to be difficult. So that's another way to put it. Anything that's worthwhile. I mean, if YouTube was easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would do it. Everybody would have a channel and nobody would get any views because there's too many channels. So it's hard for a reason. People want to watch good videos. People want to watch what they want to watch and they don't want to watch bad videos. So make good videos, make better videos. Try to get better at making videos and that might require some leveling up of your skills. Be it editing or just talking to the camera, being more comfortable, not using a script, just spitballing it, going for a walk and talk, or drive and talk, or whatever. There's so many different ways you can make videos. You can just try something new, right? So anyway, I'll get off my high horse now. See what else. See what else is here. Oh, didn't really answer the question. Do I think it's better to work your butt off before February 1st? Yeah, anytime. Anytime, work your butt off. If you I think it's healthy to use February 1st as kind of like a deadline. Like I want to be good by this time and I want to get monetized by then. But instead of getting monetized by then, I mean, that's great to start off with that goal. But as you get closer and if it looks like you're not going to get there, don't let that stop you. That doesn't mean the dream is over, right? Remember what that dream is too, monetize. And I know lots of people are telling me it's not about the money. I just want the recognition from YouTube that I'm monetized. I want to be able to tell people I'm monetized. Well, then tell them you're monetized at 3,000 hours and 500 subs. You're monetized, right? But if you want to be, anyways, I've said all that. I've said it all on my videos. put the pedal to the metal, give it your all, and now's the time. You might get there, but if you don't, you're on your way. I want to know, in your opinion, what is the best time to aim for a video for how many ads they should put on? How many ads they put on this time? 20, 30, 40 minutes per video? Okay, so my advice there, I don't know exactly, I think I know what you're asking. You want to know how many, oh, we got another thumbs down. Sorry, guys. If I said something that offended you, I apologize. I would not think about the ads at all. I never think about the ad. I mean, there was a time, okay, again, it was before I was monetized, so let me clarify. I understand your thinking. I was thinking that way too. How long should my videos be to maximize revenue, right? And I've made videos about this, like, because if your video is less than 8 minutes long, there can be no mid-roll ads. There can only be one ad at the beginning, and that's it. If your video is longer than 8 minutes, there can be mid-roll ads, right? There could be an ad in the middle. And you have the ability to kind of indicate where you want those ads. I don't mess around with any of that stuff. I always check to have mid-roll ads on, but I don't say where they're going to go. I just leave that up to YouTube. I'm of the opinion that YouTube wants to maximize their earnings, and if they're able to maximize their earnings, that maximizes my earnings, right? Because they pay me 55% of what they collect. So YouTube, I trust you. You probably know where to put an ad that'll A, not get skipped, or have the best chance not to get skipped, or have the best chance to not upset people so that they leave, a natural break point in the video. Like, YouTube is getting really good at knowing where to put their ads. So I just leave it all up to them. So as far as how long to make the videos, I've made videos that are an hour long, and I've made videos that are a minute long, and everywhere in between. I don't think about ads when I think about how long my videos need to be. It doesn't even enter into it. I used to think about, the length of videos before I got monetized, and when I needed to get watch hours, then I was thinking, okay, maybe I should make longer videos. But it doesn't necessarily matter. You make a longer video, people are less likely to watch it. If you make a shorter video that, people can get the information they want more quickly, they're more apt to watch that video. So shorter but more views, or longer but fewer views, might add up to the same thing. So I don't think it matters that much. Make your videos as long as they have to be, and no longer, but just as long as they have to be to get your point across, to deliver the information, the value that you want it to deliver to people. That's the way to look at it. If you could give one piece of advice to a full-time YouTuber that is trying to grow their channel, what would it be? Especially after the watch hour change. So already a full-time YouTuber, and you're trying to grow your channel. One piece of advice. One piece of advice? I don't know if I can do that. I've got too many pieces of advice. Stop looking at your stats so much and make another video. That's my biggest advice. To anybody out there, if the last video you made is, say, 5 days ago or longer ago, and you're looking at your analytics right now, stop it and make your next video. That is my piece of advice. There you go. One piece of advice. There you go. I got 2 emails from YouTube inviting me to join app. Do I have to apply straight away, or can I sit on it for a while? I don't know what app you're talking about. Join an app? I'm sorry, I do not know what you're talking about. I have to move on. Do you think it's better to work our... Oh, I already watched that. Okay. Why am I getting multiple questions of the same thing? Here we go. Lily, or Lily? Lily? In which city in Canada are you? I did not know or hear well. Sorry, you have always talking beautiful landscapes. Okay, so I am in Atlantic Canada. I'm in the province of Nova Scotia, which is on the east coast, near the city of Halifax, but not really in the city. So Nova Scotia, Canada. Philly Nexus Journey. Should I start every video with a detailed description of what my channel is about for the algorithm? I would say no. I would not do that. A detailed description of what your channel is about can go just in the About section of your channel. That's where I would put it. I think it's more important that in your video, you just get right to the point. What is the topic of that video? You've got a title, you got a thumbnail, get to the point. Like, that's what I think is the most important thing. At some point in the video, sure, introduce yourself, tell people who you are, what you do, but keep it short. There's an argument actually for leaving all of that to the very end, which is what I often do, usually because I just forget, but I know I don't want to do it in the beginning. So here, everything I say, take with a grain of salt, because as soon as I give you guys a rule as to what I think you should do, I'll break it myself, or you'll be able to find an example of me breaking it. I do that all the time. And that's because I'm a bigger believer in trying new things and experimenting. I think that's so, and keeping viewers on their toes. If people get so, like if you always opened up your videos with an introduction, who you are, what your qualifications are, what you do in your channel, blah, blah, blah. If you do that every time, it won't be very long. You won't have to do that very long before everybody starts skipping the first part of your video, right? And you don't want that. So keep people on their toes. Usually I'll, give my name at the end of my videos, sometimes in the middle, rarely in the beginning, although I've done it. And I will do it again, even though I don't think that's the ideal place. But again, keeping people on their toes. If somebody's watching one of my videos and they say, Rob just introduced himself right off the bat. I thought he said not to do that. I'm trying something. I'm just going to see how it works. And I'd probably get comments. And then that's an opportunity for me to answer that comment and say exactly what I'm saying right here. So any rules that anybody gives you about how you should make your videos, take them all with a grain of salt, including what I tell you, right? Think about having a conversation with somebody. You're not going to start a conversation with a friend of yours the same way every time. Change it up a bit. Have some personality. Not that you don't have personality. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, don't be rigid in your rules. Bend them. But I think the most important thing is besides experimenting and trying new things, is getting right to the point of your video. Like, someone just clicked on your video, on your thumbnail, either because of the thumbnail or the title. They just clicked. There's a reason they clicked. Deliver on that reason right away. Like get at it right away. There you go. And maybe it means saying who you are, but usually it doesn't till later on. Hey, Rob, just a comment. No problem. Just a comment. I was at 1,900 watch hours last week when all this change started happening. I got myself in gear and I'm at 2,300 today. I am determined to get to 4,000 before February. Well, congratulations. That is awesome. That's fantastic growth. Keep doing what you're doing. Unless you notice that it starts to level off and maybe you plateaued again, then try something new, something else different. Awesome. Okay, answered that one. I love this question. Susan's little cup of magic. Can running regular live streams help with watch hours? Yes. Yes. Like capital Y, capital E, capital S. Yes. 100%. And yes, when you first start doing live streams, you probably start off slow. Same with starting a channel, right? You don't typically start off by getting a whole bunch of views with your first video. Some people do. Most people don't. Those that do will often make a video about it. Hey, just started my channel. I got this many views, right? That's why you see videos like that because, not many people who get 0 views for their first 5 videos are going to post about that because other people don't, they're not searching for that. They're searching for how to grow fast. But anyways, so yeah, live streams typically start slow, but think about live streams the same way you think about videos. I tell people when you start out on YouTube, just start making videos. Don't worry about the stats because you're not good at making videos yet, or you shouldn't be if you're just starting. Most people aren't. So just make videos and start getting good at and better at making videos. The act of making videos, you'll become better at it. And that's why it's good to think about your first 10, 20, 50 videos even, as not what's going to grow your channel. Those are just for you. They're not for viewers, really. They're for you. You're practicing making videos. Same thing applies to live streams. Your first several live streams are for you to practice. Certainly your first one, right? With me, I did my first one, and I was really nervous before I started, but I did it, and I was really happy when it was done, and I knew I wanted to do it again. Okay, not everybody will feel that way. Other people might do their first one, it's over, and they exhale. It's like, wow, that was hard. I'm sure that happens. And in which case, I would suggest get right back up on that horse and do it again the next week, right? You want to start getting into a rhythm of doing these live streams. And they don't have to be for long. You could just go live for 10 minutes if you want. There's no limit. I think I aimed for an hour, my first one, and it ended up being like an hour, 20 minutes or an hour, 90 minutes or something like that. Just because there were some people that showed up and asked questions. And, maybe you get good at answering questions and talking about them for a while and asking questions back. And then, before you know it, you've got a chat going on with the chat. I mean, they chat and then you respond live. And before you know it, a whole bunch of time can go by. And as long as you are being helpful for people, they'll want to come back. And not just them, but other people who are being quiet. Like when you go live for the first time, you may have 1 or 2 people in your chat, but there may be 2, 3, 4, 5 other people who are just kind of hovering in the distance. You can see the number. Okay, there's 5 people in here. You notice only 2 people have been chatting, so that leaves 3 who are just kind of watching. Watching at the back of the room, which is fine. But if they see that you're answering questions that people ask and interacting in a nice way with your viewers, eventually they'll start interacting as well. Might be the next week or the week after that, but that's how it grows. That's how it grows, and more people will continue to find you the more you go live. And before you know it, you will get a ton of watch hours from your live streams. Last week. Actually, anybody who was here last week, I just wanted to mention that it was our best live stream ever in terms of number of people. We had, and I have to look it up because I forget the exact number. We peaked at 331 people last week, which is phenomenal, and I think we're getting close to 8,000 views on last week's live stream. Usually it's not even half of that. So that's exciting, but the reason I'm telling you that is it's also at, last I looked, around 1,600 hours is what I've gotten from last week's one live stream. It was 1,000 hours in the first day and another 600 in the last several days. So that's the potential, and it doesn't have to stop there. You continue growing beyond that. So yes, absolutely live stream. Most of my Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know that for a fact, but no, a significant number of my live streams is one of the main things that pushed me into monetization, right? That grew me to, the watch hours I needed. Alrighty. Is it just me? I feel membership and vertical shorts is YouTube's scheme. There's no way to make any income from the amount of work and my own money that I put into it. Next part 2. I have made really good videos for members, and the qualified watch hours don't cover what I spend to make the video. I believe it was way too soon to enable memberships. That's a good point. Too soon to enable memberships. I can also tell you from my experience that, as soon as you're allowed to enable memberships, doesn't necessarily mean you should. You have to have a strategic plan. Just because you create memberships and you upload good content for your members doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work. So you have to put some thought into it, some strategic planning. Memberships can be a great revenue stream depending on the channel. Maybe not as much for other channels. I think the period where I was monetized I didn't enable memberships right away because I didn't see the benefit for me. I didn't want to gatekeep anything and only. Anyways, I ended up creating a membership, and then I started doing members only live streams, and it's been a while since I've done one of those, so I should do one soon. Yeah, and same with the super chats, super thanks, right? Like that can start bringing in decent revenue once you get going with the live streams, right? So it really depends. But as soon as you try to equate, anytime you try to equate any revenue you're getting from YouTube in those early stages, like monetized for memberships, but not yet monetized for ad revenue, and I would argue even well into monetized for even ad revenue, the money you earn from YouTube is not going to cover the time it takes you to make videos. It's just not. It's not. You cannot compare doing YouTube and being a YouTuber to a job that where an employer pays you for your hours. That will never work. So anybody thinking about doing YouTube and then, yeah, I've started YouTube and now I'm making $30 an hour or whatever. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that at all. It'll be pennies for a long time. And then sure, that $30 an hour could be $300 an hour down the line. But it's a long game, right? And it's usually, you usually make more money doing other things and not just straight from YouTube, right? YouTube is an opportunity. It's a great discovery engine. It's a great marketing platform for promoting whatever it is you have to offer. But I don't look at YouTube by itself as, the thing that's going to be providing life-changing money. It does for some. It does for some, but that percentage of people who make money only from YouTube, and it's enough to call a full-time job, it's a pretty small percentage of people. So I think it's fantastic to do in retirement, like to supplement income. And it's also fantastic to do as part of a bigger overall strategy, whatever it is you want to do, selling something else. Could be your time even. All right. How we doing? 200 people in here. That's fantastic. Thank you, Bernard, at QQQ, in front of your questions so I can find it much easier. Great. I'm just checking the current chat right now. My channel has 15,000 watch hours and only 300 subs. How do I add subs? Make content that people want to. I say that a lot, but that's it. I mean, I have no magic answer for anybody who tells me how many subs they have and how many watch hours they have. If you got the watch hours and you don't have the subs, then, you need to get subscribers. How do you do that? Well, you could ask. You can make content that lends itself well so that people know that the next thing you're going to make, they're going to want to see. So whatever you have to do in your video, maybe towards the end of your video, you say, and in my next video, I'm going to talk about this. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed, right? You could do something like that if you want. I typically don't suggest people ask for people to subscribe just because I don't think it's necessary. But in the cases where it's the subs you're not getting and you are getting the watch hours, then maybe it is appropriate to ask. But come up with a strategy as to how you're going to do it, right? Like I've seen some people make videos along the lines of, my analytics tell me that 80% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So do me a favor, it really helps the channel if you would subscribe. So some very large channels still do that. So, they would only do it if it works. So you could try something like that. But you have to make sure you're making content that people do want to see more of that content. Okay, so then it becomes important that all your content is within a niche, right? Because as soon as you go outside that niche and make content that has nothing to do with what your existing subscribers have watched, that's a signal that, okay, this is probably not a channel I'm going to want to subscribe to because it looks like they're all over the place with their content. They're not on one focused thing. So why would I want to subscribe to that? Why would anybody want to subscribe to a channel that just puts out random stuff, right? There's no benefit. They can just look it up. So, but if they know, if they have an idea of what to expect with your upcoming videos, and that aligns with what they want to watch, and they like the way you present yourself, that's a recipe for people wanting to subscribe to you. So, there you go. There you go. There you go. I wanted to, what time is it? 3 o'clock. Good time to mention. If so, my mentorship program is not filled up yet. I'm going to start it, or aiming to start it on Monday, so 6 days from now. So if anybody at all is interested in the Creators Growth Project, I'm starting the third round, the third cohort of that on Monday. And it's going to be my last one in that format. There's actually, yeah, I'll talk about this for a little bit. My favorite, and this is something, this anybody who's running a business along with their YouTube channel can probably relate. There's going to be parts of your business that you enjoy doing, and there's going to be parts of your business that just drain you. One of the things that drains me is selling and trying to convince people, hey, you want to do this? You should do this, and reminders and emails and all that stuff. I hate it. I don't like doing that. But, you know, with the way I've got this set up right now, that's kind of what I have to do in order to fill it up. So I'm going to change the way I do that in the future. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but just suffice it to say that this is going to be the last Creators Growth Project cohort that I'll be running in its current form, where it all starts on a specific day and whatnot. So if you're interested, and if you were thinking, you know what, because I got a lot of this, like a lot of people applied, and it is an application process. If you're interested, there's a link below in the video description. You can apply. If you were thinking you were going to not do it this time, but maybe next time, because I had alluded to the fact I may do it towards the end of the year, I'm not going to. This is going to be the last one. So if you're interested and you can make it work, now's your time. And just so you know what it is, very brief. Well, no, I'm not going to describe. I've talked about what it is. Link is below. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me, and then we can talk about it then. But I'm aiming to try to get it filled up. If not tonight, then tomorrow, next day latest, something like that. There you go. Let me move on. Question, is it smart to diversify your channel? I do weather. I had animals on it and just made an animal channel. Is that smart? You have to think about your audience. What do they want? Right? Like what size is your potential market who want to listen to the weather and watch animals? Like, I don't know exactly what your channel's about, but you know what I mean? You could be a primarily weather channel that, oh, by the way, there's animals on here as well while I'm giving the weather reports or whatever, right? You could do that. Then the animals become part of your personality and not necessarily the subject matter, like not the point of your videos. So that's one way to look at it. Anybody who has multiple interests and are worried about niching down and only talking about one thing, you can pick one to be the primary thing that you're helping people with, and the others can just kind of form part of your personality, right? That you don't necessarily have to talk about all the time, but it's just kind of part of who you are. An example would be, in my own case, I'm helping people with their YouTube channels, getting started on YouTube, setting up businesses, things like that. That's what I talk about in my videos. But, oh, by the way, I'm a sailor. I live in the Maritimes. I live in Canada. Like, all those things become things that, yeah, I talk about them every once in a while, but they're never really the focus of any of my videos, right? It's just, if I made a video on my dad's boat one time, and that, was kind of cool, but it was... What was the topic of that video? I think it was me talking about the life of a YouTuber or something, taking breaks or something like that. So hopefully that helps. Monkey Wrench. I want to change my content even before I know if the current content works. Should I start a new channel instead? I want to change my content even before I know okay, so the bottom line is, if you don't like the content that you're making now, and that's why you want to change it, you could start a new channel, but, you don't want to keep starting new channels. Otherwise, you'll just never get ahead. Eventually, you need to pick something and kind of run with it. So But yeah, no, if you know that you don't want to continue with the content you're making now and you do want to go down another road, then yeah, I'd probably start a new channel. If the subject matter is completely different and it would be a different audience that would be interested in your new stuff, then yeah, I'd probably start a new channel. You know, that's what I would do. YouTube's live analytics have always felt convoluted in the conversion process from live to long form. Since you live stream frequently, do you agree there is ambiguity there? Sure. Yeah, there is. Sometimes I don't know exactly what I'm looking at, but I try not to worry about it too much. It is what it is. You know, YouTube analytics, again, should not be a crutch that you lean on. It's just something to maybe help you spot trends. And they give you so many ways to look at the analytics. It's downright confusing. I've probably only even looked at a quarter of the stats that are available to me, if that, just because I don't need to look at it in so many other different ways, but they provide it in case some people do want to look at it in a different way, right? So yeah, no, there's way more than you need in the analytics, and I would argue in the beginning that any amount of analytics is probably more than you need. Like shouldn't look at it at all. So yeah, the fact that there's some differences between live streams and videos are different. They're different things. So for example, a video might take off and do well for many, many weeks. But if you live stream every week, like I do, then typically the life of one of my live streams is a week. As soon as I come out with a new one, the old one stops getting views. And I know that. I know that going in, and that's fine. I don't make my live streams to go viral or to go evergreen either. It's just not that way. Because who would, like today, who would watch my last week's live stream if they can be here now live and watch this one? Or tomorrow, if you missed this, would you watch last week's or this one? I mean, each one is like 2.5 hours long. So, people don't have the time to be watching more, multiple 2.5 hour videos for any given creator per week. At least I don't anyways. I assume you don't either. Alrighty. Question. I heard marking the AI option as a yes on videos hurt AI video channels. I wouldn't say that. No, well, I don't know. I haven't heard that. I don't make AI videos, so I don't check that box. I think it's probably more for advertisers, right? Like there's probably advertisers who don't want their ads being played on AI generated videos. If I was an advertiser, that's what I would select. If given the option, I would tell YouTube, I do not want my ads on AI generated videos because I know a lot of people don't like watching those and I don't want to be associated with that. So that's what I would say. So therefore YouTube is like, okay, well, how are we going to know? Okay, we've got our automated things that can probably find it or get fairly good at figuring out what's AI generated and what's not. But it's probably not perfect, so why don't we just ask the creator? Let's put some of the onus on them to actually tell us if it's AI or not, and they use that as well. So that's probably how that works. Michael, I've asked this in another's live stream, but would like your take. Do you think it's equally as hard to get 1,000 subscribers versus the 4,000 or 8,000 watch hours? Do I think it's equally as hard to get 1,000 subscriber versus the 4,000 or 8,000 watch hours? Okay, I don't know exactly what you're asking. Harder to get subscribers versus watch hours, or harder to get 4,000 versus 8,000? But regardless, it depends. It really depends. For me, I was at 3,000 subscribers before I got monetized. So it was before I got to 4,000 watch hours. I was at 3,000. Depends on the age of your channel too. Depends on the age of your channel. Some people get watch hours a whole lot faster than they get subscribers, as somebody earlier mentioned. But what I see most of the time is people get the subscribers, but not the watch hours. And actually, if I think about it, one of the reasons probably is that it depends on the age of your channel. The older a channel is, naturally, as long as you're uploading every so often, your subscriber number is probably going to go up, right? Whereas like even a dormant channel where you're not really posting much, you may still get the odd new subscriber just because, but you may not be getting any watch hours. And furthermore, if you go a whole year without coming out with any new content, even though your subscriber count could be going up, your watch hours can go to 0 if you haven't made anything in a year, right? So I would say and I've seen also some well-established channels that have existed for like 20 years and they get tons of views all the time still, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but their subscriber number is flat. It does not go up. Now, the reason why is, yeah, they're probably still getting new subscribers, but they're probably also losing a lot because a 20-year-old channel, like many of their earlier subscribers are probably not watching YouTube anymore, or, you know, they've moved on, different interests. Some of them may have passed away, right? Like the longer amount of time your channel has existed, the higher your subscriber count probably is, but also the higher your subscribers lost rate probably is as well. So I think it's a little harder to get watch hours than it is to get subscribers. But again, that's my experience, and depending on your channel, you might experience differently. There's a good question. Continuing the live stream discussion. How do you promote an upcoming live stream, especially the first one? Here you go. Here's your playbook. First live stream, this is exactly what I did. At the time, I was making videos, I think a couple a week. And so what I did is I picked a day about a month out. I said, okay, that's the day I'm going to go live. I've got it. Let's write it on the calendar. And now let's plan how I'm going to get there. All right. Work back. That's the best way to do it. Just work backwards. Pick your day. You're going to go live and work back. Now, okay, how many videos can I post before then? I would like it if you could at least fit 3 in there. 3 videos between now and your first live stream. Make sure you can get 3 new videos there. And then what you're going to do is in each one of those videos, you're going to have a very short segment in there that says, oh, by the way, guys, I'm going to go live for the first time ever, and it's on September 10th or whatever it is. Like you can say the day. Like generally in a video, you would not, you know, specify a date for anything because you'd want a video typically to turn into evergreen and be still getting views 2 years from now, right? But break that rule here. Put a date in for these 3 videos. I'm going to go live on this date, and my plan is to talk about blah, 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 and whatever else you want me to talk about. So I hope to see you there. Mark it on your calendar. That said, this is the end of the video. See you next video, right? So do that for 3 videos leading up to it. In addition, so that's one part of the strategy. Another part is your community posts. I would let people know once a week leading up to it that you're going to do that. Like make it an event, okay? And as you get closer, make sure you post like the day of, put another community post out that morning. Say, I'm going live today. This is the day. Hope it goes well or whatever. And, you know, try to generate some excitement around it and then go live. So same thing in the comments. Maybe even put a pinned comment in your, in those 3 videos that says, oh, by the way, if you want to hear more about this, I'm actually going live on September 10th, blah, 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 the date, the time, whatever. What else can you do? You see what I mean though? Like pick a date and that's an event. And now you need to market that event, and you can market it through videos, through community posts, right? If you have an email list, you can market it that way. And then what you do is make sure that in your live stream, you announce when your next one's going to be. Like you can even say towards the end, guess what? This was a lot of fun. I plan on doing this every week. So I hope to see you back next week. Right? And when you pick a date and time, pick something that works well for you and that you could see yourself doing on a weekly basis, every week, same day, same time. People will ask me, what's the best time? What's the best day? There's really no way to answer that because people do this all over the world. And people, when they're up on this side of the world, they're asleep on the other side of the world, right? So there's no way. Best thing to do is to pick something that works for you and, day and time, maybe a day and time where you're going to be available most of the time. I picked Tuesday because honestly, when I was deciding on the date, I didn't want to pick a Friday or a Monday in case I wanted to go away with my family on a long weekend, right? I didn't want, I feel like I might want to do that often. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick a day in the middle of the week. That's what I did. I didn't want to pick an evening in case, like in the evening, sometimes I play baseball or go curling in the wintertime. I didn't want to mess around with that because, year to year, those are at different times. So yeah, I just picked a time in the middle of the day on a Tuesday. That's what worked for me. So look at it that way. And then, as long as you keep showing up the same time, same day every week, you will naturally grow an audience with people who that time works for. So there you go. Fred says, I'm scheduling my live streams for every Friday because I don't feel rushed at all. Perfect. That's great. That's a great attitude. Let me see now. All right, let's keep going. Question, if I stream through StreamYard or Rumble Studio, would that hinder me from showing people my channel? Well, I'm not familiar with Rumble. I've heard some people call that a YouTube alternative, but I would disagree. I don't think anything is going to supplant YouTube. That said, that's all I've ever heard about Rumble. I don't know anything about it. StreamYard is just a way to live stream. You would have to hook StreamYard up to something to stream, whether it's YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever platform you're going to stream on. So yeah, no, using StreamYard is not going to affect who can see your live streams at all. Who's going to see it is going to be determined by the platform and whatever marketing you do leading up to it. Like I was just telling the last guy, if you market it yourself, that would help. I just saw a video about niche bending and thought that was a neat idea. Can you talk of that? I don't know what you mean. Niche bending. I mean, so if I try to think logically, what could that mean? Because I've not heard that term. No, I can't even, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, when we talk about niches, that's just like a way to try to categorize what our videos are about. But ultimately, we can make videos about whatever. Here's the way to think about it. Not necessarily you always have to make videos in a certain niche, but you always have to make videos that your typical viewers would like to watch. That's it. So, a better way to think about it is make videos for your audience, not make videos for a niche, right? Because what is a niche? A niche doesn't watch videos. Audience members do. Viewers watch videos. So make videos that people want to see, and the best, giving yourself the best chance of getting the more views would be, targeting the same types of people with common interests. So, so use the hunting and fishing example. A lot of people who hunt also like to fish. So maybe if you're normally making hunting videos and you make the odd fishing video, maybe that's an attempt to see if that new content might be of interest to your existing audience as well. It's a good test to do. It might work, but it might not, right? But you never know until you try. And, doesn't even mean, if it doesn't work, doesn't mean you can't try it again later either, because it might. So, yeah, I don't know if that's exactly what you mean, but hopefully that helps. Hello, Rob. I don't get to see my viewers' comments after the live. I have tried fixing it on Vane. Anne. So here's what I know about that. This live chat that you guys are seeing right now, when I end this video, or sorry, when I end this live stream, this live chat continues, I think, for about 5 minutes, and then it stops. And then anybody who watches this video on the replay, they're not going to see that live chat until many hours later. In my case, it's often 10, 12 hours before the live chat becomes available. Why? I think YouTube needs to process things and bring it back. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying is I can confirm that in my case, I can't see the live chat afterwards either until I wait a day or half a day. Okay? What happens after that 5 minutes and the live chat stops, that's when you can start, or viewers can start leaving comments, right? Like, I don't think you can leave a comment on this video right now. You can chat in the live chat, but if somebody starts this on the replay, like half an hour after the live stream is over, all they can do is leave a comment, which is kind of comical because sometimes the first comments that come in on a video might be people like with one-word answers, answering questions that I might have asked at the very beginning of the live stream, and I think they think they're live, but they're not. It's coming in as a comment several hours after I ended the live stream, and I'm not there anymore. So that's kind of how that works. Judy, do you have to use StreamYard, or can you just do it through YouTube? I'm still trying to gain enough confidence to go live. So no, you do not have to use StreamYard. I don't use StreamYard. I use Ecamm, but you don't even have to use that. You can just stream through YouTube, or YouTube Studio, actually. Well, YouTube through, if you want to stream from your phone, okay, but YouTube Studio, if you want to stream through your computer, you do it through YouTube Studio. And you don't need any other software. The only time you would want to use any other software is if you want to do things like the way I've displayed your comment on screen here. That's a feature that Ecamm provides, and StreamYard provides a similar function that you can do to display live chat ads. Or if you want to set up scenes with like custom views and whatnot, like if I press this button here to show you my iPhone view, that might not be a good one, or my screen here. There's my iPhone with my screen, and I can bring a screen down here. So this would be a different scene, right? And then of course, you know, other camera views. I've got another camera over there. I've got another camera up there in the corner, and then my main camera. So these are all different scenes that I've set up. If you want to do stuff like that, then yeah, you need extra software, because all YouTube Studio will allow you to do is you can share a screen and you will be picture in picture down in the right corner, and you won't be able to resize it, reshape it, move yourself around or anything like that. Software like Ecamm gives you the ability to customize your scenes. I could put 3 different cameras on screen right now if I wanted to, and you know, round the corners of some and whatever else, custom super chat animations and stuff like that. You can't do that through YouTube Studio. So, but YouTube Studio is free. You can live stream for free with that. All right. Question, would it be a bad idea to go from making videos about world events to talking about the Bible? I wouldn't say a bad idea. I mean, those are 2 different things, in my view, 2 different things, 2 different audiences. So, you know, if you're just talking world events on your channel, and now you want to talk about the Bible, I would put that on a different channel, because it depends on how many subscribers and viewers, regular viewers you have on your existing channel. But I will caution you, like some people will say, you know, I've got 10,000 subscribers, but I want to switch my niche. I don't want to lose my 10,000 subscribers. So can I switch my niche and on the same channel? I would say no. That's not going to help. Just because you have 10,000 subscribers, that's not 10,000 people who want to hear you and whatever it is you want to talk about. Maybe in very small numbers that might be the case, but for the most part, it's 10,000 people that want to hear about your world events talks. Right? That's why they subscribed. If you start talking about something completely unrelated, most of them aren't going to watch. So that would actually hold your channel back. So what I would do in your case is I would start a new channel. Leave your world events channel alone. There's no sense in deleting it. You may want to make another world event video somewhere down the line. And if so, you got a channel to post it on. But I would start a new channel for your new idea. Why does it seem TikTok and whatnot follows seem easier to get than subbing to YouTube? Does anyone notice that? Yeah, I don't pay too much attention to TikTok. I do have a TikTok account and an Instagram account, but they're way smaller than my YouTube channel, and I don't put any effort into those. Different platforms. Different platforms, people with different interests. Perhaps you make different content on one platform versus the other, right? I can't stress this enough. It is so hard to grow on one platform. YouTube is hard. Everything is hard. And they're all different. So, that's why I think the smartest way forward, if you want to grow a presence online in any of these platforms, pick one. Just pick one and get good at it. It's going to take a long time to get good at it, and you're going to have to keep changing what you do to stay on top of changing rules that happens from time to time. Yeah, there's no way. I couldn't tell you the last time TikTok came up with a different way to count views, or I know nothing about how to grow on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or any of the other ones. Only YouTube. YouTube is hard enough. I can't imagine trying to learn more than one at a time. So yeah, I would not say TikTok is easier to get followers than YouTube. It might be for you and it might be for others, but it might be the complete opposite for somebody else who has different content. Different platforms lend themselves to certain types of content. YouTube is great for long form videos, like 10, 15, 20-minute videos. If you want to watch that, you're probably not going to TikTok or Instagram, right? You go to YouTube for that. If you want to watch on your phone and you just want, like quick satisfaction, swiping through Shorts or Instagram or Reel, that's TikTok and that's Instagram. It's just two different worlds, if you will. So that's best way to think about it, I think. Daphne, if you post 2 times a week but find it a lot, can you go down to 1 time a week, or will it hurt a new channel? Video 10 up, so beginner. Congrats on your 10th video. That's awesome. No, absolutely you can go down to 1, and I would recommend that. Only do what you can do comfortably. If you think maybe you just need a break from the 2 a week, but you might go back to it, that's fine too. That's okay. So there was a time that I posted 3 videos a week, and I did that for a long time. And that was a lot of work. And then I went to 1 a week, and then I went to 2, tried 3 for a bit, went back to 1, and kind of bounced around. Lately, I've been 2 a week, sometimes 1 if I get busy with other things. But it's okay. Here's what I'll tell you. If your audience gets used to you showing up at a certain frequency or pace, and you think that's going to change, or you think it's just going to change for a week or 2, let them know in the community. Do a community post and say, I know I usually do 2 a week. This week there'll only be 1. In fact, next week might only be 1 as well. In the next couple of weeks, I should get back to 2. Look forward to seeing you in the comments of my next video or something like that, right? So yeah, it doesn't matter. I know a lot of us say, oh, you got to be consistent, right? And there's some truth to that, but I think the better way to look at it is consistently show up for your audience. Don't let your audience forget who you are. Okay, so if you start to think that, wow, it's been a long time, think of your audience as a friend. I haven't seen that friend in quite a while. I should reach out, right? That's the same thing with your audience. I haven't posted a video in a while. I was usually 2 a week. It's been 1 a week, or I know it's going to be 1 a week this week. I should let them know. right? Think about it as a courtesy move. And it's a little bit more than that. It is a courtesy move, but it also just lets them know that you're thinking about them. And it reminds them that, hey, I'm still here, right? So yeah, that's the way I'd handle that. But don't try to force the 2 a week. If you're having trouble doing 2 a week, if it's, I think you mentioned it's a lot. Yeah, you find it a lot. So yeah, I would go down to 1 a week. Maybe try 2 again later if you want. Maybe later you may find a better way or a quicker way to make those 2 videos a week. Right? And then you can try it later. But no. Hope that helps. Question, can you add a Canva-based thumbnail to existing videos? Absolutely, Paul. Definitely. YouTube doesn't care how you make your thumbnails. So whether you use Canva or whether you just take a screenshot, well, you know, usually I just take a screenshot, but I also plug it into Canva because I want to make sure I get the aspect ratio exactly right. The 1280 by 720 or the 16 by 9 size. I want to get that exactly right. So I'll take a screenshot, which might, I eyeball the screenshot and then I bring that into Canva and, I put that within and then I make sure it's the right size. And then I may or may not add text to it, right? So, but whether you use Canva or Photoshop or some other tool, it doesn't matter. As long as it exports your thumbnail file in a PNG or a JPG file, I use PNG just because I know they work, because that's what you upload to YouTube, right? The alternative is YouTube will pick a thumbnail for you if you don't give it one. And I don't like that because then you have no control. It's just going to grab a random screenshot, and it might not even be that random. It might be at a specific time in your video. I can't remember. I can't remember because it's not something I think about. I just make mine with Canva, usually in 5 minutes or less, and then upload it. So yeah, YouTube doesn't care how you make your thumbnails, whatever program you want to use, whatever program you use, just as long as you make it a PNG and it's 16 by 9 aspect ratio, you're good. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, wow. I just yawned. I apologize. I forgot where I was for a second. Anaholics, how you doing? I'm making tutorials for DaVinci Resolve. Very cool. I want to update these videos when a new version of DaVinci is released. Is it a problem for YouTube when the new video has 90+% overlap with the old version? I would say no. No, YouTube would not have a problem with that. It's your audience you're going to have to explain that to, right? So I did a similar thing. When I started my channel, I was making Camtasia video editing tutorial type videos. And there were several times that I made an updated video because I did that for like over the course of like 3 years. And I would often come across like Camtasia come up with a new version. Now all of a sudden I'm thinking, awesome. Now whole bunch of videos now I can actually redo with the new version. So, put something in the thumbnail that has the version number. Right? The title can be the same. But yeah, no, YouTube doesn't care. It's more the audience. Like you may even want to mention when the video starts, like, I made a video about this last year, but DaVinci just changed the way this works. So this is an updated video, right? Or even if they didn't make many changes and you just want, an updated version, you can absolutely do that. YouTube has no trouble with that. Ariel, Rob, I have a YouTube education channel with 900 subs, but around 700 came from 6 comedy shorts that attracted the wrong audience. I've removed them. Would you rebuild the channel or start fresh? How old's the channel? Because yeah, you have a shorts channel now. That's, yeah, like, if you don't have a ton of, well, I'd start again. Honestly, that's what I would do. Because you built the wrong channel. You don't have to delete that channel. That channel is now a comedy shorts channel. But you said you deleted the videos. Yeah, that doesn't help. See, because you brought the audience in for other reasons. It really depends on what your main content is about. You just said YouTube education channel. Okay. Yeah, but it's really not. It's a comedy shorts channel because that's where most of your subs came in. I mean, if you want, you can try to revive it. Like give it 6 or 7 or 8 videos, YouTube education videos, and see if you're able to turn it around. But what you want to have happen is you want all those subscribers that you got from the comedy, you want them to unsubscribe and leave. So the best way to do that is probably start a new channel. You could tell them in a video, you know, if you got here because of my comedy shorts, I'm never making any again, so feel free to leave. You could do that, right? Having those 700 subscribers in your channel is not going to help that channel, right? You may think, oh, wow, that's only 300 away from getting to 1,000. Well, you might be years getting to 1,000 if you're starting with 700 that came for the wrong reason, right? That you're not going to continue to feed. So there you go. That's the danger in posting unrelated comedy shorts to a channel that is not about that. You could end up growing it into something that you didn't want, and then it becomes very hard, if not impossible, to reverse that trend, right? Is there a benefit to posts? Absolutely. Keeps you in touch with your audience. Lets your audience know that you care. And it's a way to announce things as well. I have been editing my videos in CapCut on my iPhone. I tried to upgrade to desktop and I'm struggling. I can edit on my phone in no time. Is this normal to not want to move off my phone? Is it normal? I suppose it is for some people. It's really, you know, you got to find a workflow that works best for you. So if for you it's the phone, you know, keep doing that. That's no problem. If you have gotten used to editing on your phone and you want to continue to do that, I would just continue to do that. You just have to watch out for storage. Like you're going to have to get your video files off of your phone when you're done with them, and just have a system set up for that, whether it's external hard drives or whatever. But yeah, no, just find a system that works for you, and there's nothing wrong with editing videos on an iPhone. I personally don't know how you do it because I couldn't do it. I need a bigger screen and more intricate, you know, to be able, like if I want to, anyways, I just find it so much easier with a larger screen. And I can't imagine editing a video on a phone. But I know a lot of people do, and there's nothing wrong with that. So keep doing what you're doing if it's working. Do you use Zoom and run it through Ecamm to a scheduled live stream? Wanting to do that, but only way I can think is a shared screen in Ecamm. So I'm not using Zoom at this moment, but I use Zoom for my one-on-one coaching calls and my mentorship group coaching calls. I use Zoom for that. I have also used Zoom when I've had guests on my live streams, and it's been a long time since I've done that. I should do that again soon. I've been meaning to reach out to some people. Because the way I do that is I have them, my guests, call into my Zoom room, and Ecamm integrates with Zoom so that I can very easily bring somebody in. Like I can pre-create a scene that has me on one side and a Zoom guest on the other, right? And then once I have that Zoom guest identified, I can press a button and boom, there they are. There we are. So yeah, but no, for these live streams, I don't use Zoom. If I wanted to have other people on, then yes, that's how I do it. Now, there's another way, and it's the reverse. When I have Zoom meetings, I often run it through Ecamm. So not a live stream, but Ecamm doubles as, like, there's something called Ecamm virtual camera. So what that means is when I start up my Zoom meeting, I can select a microphone and I can select a camera. Well, the camera I select is not this one up here that I've selected in Ecamm, but the one I select is the Ecamm virtual camera. And what that does is it puts into my Zoom meeting anything that I've got in Ecamm. So I can set up custom scenes that might be, so for example, if I switch over to show you my screen again, this is a custom scene. You can see, like I can show people things here, and what you see here could be what my Zoom callers are seeing as well. And then I can then I run it through Ecamm. Okay, so that's Ecamm virtual camera that you could use not even just in Zoom, in anything that uses a camera. Google Meet, right? The camera you select would be the eCam virtual camera if you wanted to set up custom scenes that way. Why they put QQQ? Because I am searching for QQQ here. That's how I'm easily able to identify what's a question. Otherwise, I miss a lot. But I wanted to actually, thank you for the segue. Something I wanted to mention that I am working on, and I don't know that it's going to be something I'm going to release because it's hard enough making it work just for me. I'm building something that's going to make my live streams a little bit different, and it's going to be, I'm going to be able to consolidate the live chats and do more things with them, put them on screen, add like custom emojis and icons for like members, or super chats, people who are helpfully answering other people's questions. I'm going to be able to filter through just questions, and AI is going to curate all the live chats that are coming in. And for example, I'll be able to look at a window of chats and I'll be able to say, okay, just show me anything that's a question. And people don't have to put QQQ in there for it to go into that column. AI can read all the chats as they're coming in and decide if it's a question or not. Now, I may have to fiddle with this to get it to work just right, but that's kind of the idea. And some other fun things I'm going to be able to do with this, like it's going to remember who was chatting last week. Like let's say at the end of this, there were questions that I missed, okay? This new system I'm building is going to allow me to basically click on questions as I'm answering them. And then at the end, it can give me a report. Okay, Rob, here are all the questions you did not answer, right? So then I would be able to, next week, bring up that list. Show me a list of all the questions from last week's live stream that I missed. And maybe the first part of the live will be, me answering some past questions, right? It'll automatically be able to filter out spam. Like when somebody asks a question at multiple times, it'll automatically only show it to me once. Things like that. People, there's all kinds of different things. Like people who are members, I can make sure I always answer their questions. Members only, or people who joined the membership, their questions would always be at the top. Members or moderators, or people who are being very helpful and answering other people's questions or whatever. All kinds of cool things to be able to do with this. Going to be able to track streaks, how many times in a row you've been in my live chats, how many weeks in a row, have leaderboards and all kinds of stuff like that. So anyway, I'm kind of excited about that. I don't know why I told you all that. Just something I'm working on that I will be able to hopefully make these live streams even better than they are now. All right. And yes, Terry, it's because I filter by QQQ. That is exactly right. All righty. Oh, there's a question from Lily. Do you set up your eCam? Oh, wait, let me find it here. Do you set up your eCam live in YouTube Studio, then select the YouTube Studio Live setup in eCam? I learned this yesterday instead of do eCam. Okay, so my process is this. I first, in YouTube Studio, Tuesday morning, I will go in and I will schedule my live stream. I do that in YouTube Studio. I set it up in YouTube Studio, add a new thumbnail if I'm going to add a new thumbnail, or pick one that I used before, add the title, make sure live chat capture is on, set it for 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. So I do that in YouTube Studio. Then I could just close my YouTube Studio, but I usually leave it open in a tab. Then as 2 o'clock rolls around, I open up eCam, right? I make sure my scenes are all working and the stream deck is working and whatnot. And I put my phone for the intro wherever I'm going to put it. This time I put it up in the window there. And then when I'm ready to go live, I don't go live in YouTube Studio. I do it from eCam. There's a button at the bottom center that says go live. And before 2 o'clock comes up, it'll say going live in 3 minutes and 12 seconds, 11, and there's like a countdown. I can go live early if I want, but it knows it's able, because I've already connected my eCam to my YouTube account, it kind of pulls in that scheduled live stream data. Okay, so I could have 2 live streams scheduled, and I'd have to choose which one in Ecamm. And I click go live there, and that launches everything. And then I'll see I go live in Ecamm, and then boom, in YouTube Studio it'll show up. Yeah, so that's how I do it. Question, does having video chapters help or hurt your watch time and or views? So directly, it doesn't help or hurt. Directly. Indirectly, to answer that question, you have to get into the head of your viewers. You have to try to you have to think like your viewers. Like some people, I get some comments, but people say, man, I wish you put chapters in here. I'd be able to more easily find what you're talking about. Right? Okay, yeah, I get that. But some people watch a video because they want to watch it all anyways, and they don't necessarily care about jumping around. So it may depend on your content. If your content is like segmented, and let's say there are 10 definite sections to your video where you're talking about 10 different things, you may want to put chapters in there if you want people to be able to bounce around, right? If you want people to watch all of your video, then maybe you don't need to do that. So you have to kind of think. So like I would very rarely, if ever, actually I hardly ever put chapters in. There have been times that I did it for my live streams, but most of the time I don't. The times that I used to do it manually, and then I decided, whoa, I don't have the time for this. And then I went years without doing it. And then, I don't know, a few months ago, I started using AI to create them for me, and then I did that for a bit. But it doesn't necessarily help. It depends on what you're going after. Like, again, if I wanted my live streams just to be just a whole bunch of me answering questions, which is actually what I'm doing today, and I wanted people to be able to easily find those questions and answers, then yeah, I suppose I could put chapters in. But, that's not the primary focus of my lives. My primary focus is on community building and wanting to put something together that you guys want to be part of and that you'll want to stick around and be here every week. Now, the fact that I often go 2.5+ hours, I know that's limiting for some people. Some people don't have that kind of time to devote to this, and I totally get that. Again, I wouldn't have that time either. But like I looked at last week's, and sorry, I just got quiet because I'm going to go find it. I'm going to show you something. If I bring this down here, and I'm going to share my screen right here. And if you notice, I have turned on dark mode for my YouTube. Every once in a while, I'll change that. I'll go to light mode. I was on light mode for a long time, so now I just wanted to change. So here we are. So this is my live right now. This is the live we're in. And this is last week's. So if I go to analytics for last week's live, as I mentioned, it was a very well attended one, 331 peak viewers. But what I noticed is, that was right there. We peaked at 1 hour and 21 minutes into the live stream. So that right there is evidence enough for me not to limit my live streams to 1 hour, because we didn't even peak till after that. It was still growing until then. Then it fell off a bit, but still, like 2 hours and 16 minutes in, I'm still well over 200 viewers. So, why would I make it shorter? If people want to hang out, and if I have the time to do this, then I'd keep going. So anyway, that's all I wanted to show you. That this is the graph that I look at a lot, the peak viewers and then the total viewers here. So yeah, but it's different. It's different. It's going to depend on what you talk about. So kind of lost my train of thought there for a second, but you guys are used to that, right? There we are. Looking for the chat again. What am I missing in the chat? Take a break from the questions for a second. A question for you. Generally speaking, I have a hard time between the words generally and genuinely. Have you guys noticed that? Because I trip over those. I use both those words a lot. And in my videos, I often start saying one but mean the other. Have you noticed? Because it's something that pops into my head every single time I say one of those two words, that I'm messing it up. Which one? I have to think, which one? Is this a genuinely comment or is this a generally comment? That's, I don't know. I don't know. But I was trying to say something there and I forgot. What was I saying? Take another drink. Come on, Rob, you're slowing down. Running into roadblocks now. Hey, Life with Gen X, how you doing? Yes, keep the 2+ hour lives. All right. Because you asked, Jen, that's what we'll do. We'll keep them going. It started with generally speaking. Yeah, but what was the rest of that? You know what I wish? So like I often go on long walks in the mornings and I take my phone with me and my AirPods and I will think like, what's my next video going to be? What, business ideas, whatever. Like I think and I write down notes. But I've got to write them down because if I don't, I forget them and I forget what I was saying. I wish we had the ability to like go back into our heads and like it's got to be recorded. What I'm thinking has to be recorded somewhere. Can I not go back and what was it? Like, just let me rewind 30 seconds. What was it that I started to say that I forgot because I said something else instead or somebody said something else to me? I am so easily derailed. So, yeah, AI is cool and all that, but as soon as we're able to actually like get on paper what it was we were thinking, I think we're a little ways off from that, though. Play the tape again. Yes, Heidi. How you doing, Heidi? Play the tape again. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I could just put you guys on pause and go back and watch the replay of my own live. What was it that I was thinking? It's like we need to be live streaming ourselves constantly all the time and have the ability to back up. Can creators know if the viewers are returning or not? No, you can't. And so I was wondering if you're talking about live streams or videos, but regardless, no, you can't know if somebody's returning or not, unless they leave a comment, right? Then you can know, but no. Watching YouTube videos is private. Basically, there's privacy reasons. Like YouTube is not going to say, oh, guess what, Rob? Here's a list of everybody who watched your video. No. Well, first of all, people can watch videos without being logged in. So there's that. But also, no, they don't provide that information. There's a cool question. Could I live stream the subscriber count? Will I get more subscribers? I mean, you could try that. I did that when I had my special live stream as I was approaching 100,000 subscribers, just because I made an event out of it. I was telling people you need to celebrate your milestones, and I was doing that with you guys. And so I had a live count of my subscribers, and I was live streaming it, but it was funny because during that live stream where I actually crossed 100,000, that was over 4 hours long, and I think I gained like 250 some subscribers during those 4 hours, which was way more than I normally get in a day. But as soon as I left, people started to unsubscribe because I think so that's something you risk. If people just subscribe to see the number tick up, they might be equally apt to unsubscribe to see it tick down. You know what I mean? So, and that's kind of what I noticed. For your very first live stream, talk to me about preparation or scripting, like a list of questions that might be common in your niche and you answer them. Yeah, so that's a good question because I do say before your first live, you should be prepared. Have something prepared so that you know what to talk about. So, have an idea what you want your live to look like. Is it just going to be you monologuing through the whole thing, just talking, or do you want to answer questions, or do you want to give a demonstration of some sort? Do you want to show people something, right? You can do a live stream where you're walking around with a camera, or you can share your screen and demonstrate something on screen, or you could just answer questions. So decide what you want to do in your live, and then make yourself some notes. So for me, what that meant was I wanted everything on one piece of paper that I would have right in front of me. Live stream number 1, the date, time, whatever. and then I'd think about, okay, what am I going to talk about? We're going to start with an intro. So I wrote down intro, put a big box around it. What do I want? Things I want to remember to say. And actually, I probably still have them somewhere. Okay, so I have a few file folders here that I have not gone through in a long time. Okay, you know what? I should have, wow, there's a lot of cat hair here. I found what I'm looking for. Live streams 2004. So what I used to do is, and in here, look at all these pages I've got. So I've got actually my outlines from all the way back there. Live stream number 123 was December 9th, 2025. That's the last time I put a sheet in here. Let me go back. There we go. So, okay, so for example, this is, I should be, no, I don't have a top-down camera to show you this. What's a good one to, okay, well, here we go. Can you see that? No. Okay, so what you're looking at there, okay, you know what? What's the best way to do this? I know, hang on. Let me get my camera. I got my phone. And I'll put it on this tripod, and I will select iPhone, and we will do this. Okay, there you go. So actually, give me a second here. I'm also gonna, let's put it back on screen. There now, so I'm messing around with Ecamm Live, basically live. I'm copying that from the screen. I'm gonna paste it here, there. So now you can see me too. That's all I did. I just created a scene live in Ecamm. So, all right, so let me put this down here again. This is the best way to do it. Now I can see what I'm looking at. So this is my live stream notes from March 26, 2024. So just for reference, March 26th, if I look up my live streams, or sorry, my analytics, March 26th, 2024. So for reference, I was at 2,900 subscribers at this time. And my live stream, this live stream right here on March 26th, let me go find it. There it is. Oh, that's 2025. 2024. There it is, right there. So for this live stream, I had a peak viewers of 7. Total chats, 40. Views in the first 24 hours, 26. Watch hours, 1.2. This was live stream number 19. Yeah, I said it right there, number 19. So number 1, clone video, clone test reel. So I just gave myself some things to talk about, right? Like I had just made a video on cloning myself in a video, and I wanted to talk about it. I want to talk about the clone test and how to make the reel. I made a reel, like an Instagram reel out of that video. Number 2, how I make a YouTube video with Camtasia. So that's a demonstration that I was going to do and probably did. Script, an idea. So these are just notes for me to follow. And then down here, I probably should have read this first just to know. So weekly live streams, just to remind myself, I want to mention that I do weekly live streams. I make 2 to 3 YouTube videos a week. And there are free resources available. So these are reminders for me to say these things. And then a summary, how many views. Oh, I already told you that. So how many views it got, how many. So I would write this stuff down. Total watch hours. The duration was 1 hour and 58 minutes. And then notes after. Mic audio was too low. Focus rate was at a 1, blah, blah, blah. Next time, make it at 3 o'clock. Question, show how to make thumbnails and YouTube Shorts. Question by Starman, I guess that was username. How I make my custom transitions. Okay, so I wrote some notes after my live, and then each page here would be a different live stream. So that was the next week, right? Check audio, make it higher. That was a note that I had from the week before. And then more notes at the end of that one. Okay, so anyways, I don't know if you guys are probably getting dizzy now with me moving this camera around. That is what I do, Coach Al. That's what I did. I'm sorry. And I had, as I say, lots more pages. I did this every week for a couple of years, and I don't do it anymore. I do still write stuff down on a piece of paper, but then I've got a whole bunch of unfiled pages there. At some point, I'll go through them and put them where they go. But anyways, I hope you found that helpful. That's my suggestion. I didn't have to show you all that to explain that. But yeah, give yourself some notes so that you can follow in case you ever get lost. And if anybody ever asks you questions, as you noticed at that time with peak 7 people showing up, I was able to remember what they asked. And I went back through the live chat to write down, oh, they asked this, that, or whatever, and I write them down. So then I made a note of it, and that's a good place to start for my next live stream. That's what I can talk about. I can answer those questions, right? And it's these types of things I want to get back to with the building of this app that I'm building, in hopes that I don't have questions go unanswered. And that made me laugh, Jen. Giveaway that Rob is an engineer, graph paper for note-taking. Yes, I buy them in packs of 5, I think, at Staples. That's what I write on. And my writing is horrible because I type now. I don't write anymore. Haven't been an engineer for 25 years. Is Peanut okay? Thanks for asking. She's fine, but I don't know where she is. She's not in my office today. And I actually went looking for her. I started the 5-minute countdown. I went looking. Peanut, where are you? Shook the box of treats. No Peanut. So sorry, Peanut. You're not in this one. She's missing out. Question, is it true that we should use Gemini instead of Claude or Chat to help with hooks and thumbnails? Nope, not true. Why don't you explain yourself, Rob? Sure. You can use any of them. You can use any of them, whether it's Claude, Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT. I mean, they're all LLMs, large language model, basically a chat bot. That's what they are. They all have their slightly different personalities, I guess, different ways of saying things. Some are better at some things than others, but they're all changing very rapidly. So as soon as somebody thinks they know what tool is best for what kind of information, it'll change next week, right? Because they're all ramping them up and in development at all times. So pick one that you like and start to train it on who you are and what you like and how you like your information delivered to you. Tell it what you're up to. Tell it what your channel's about. Tell it whatever. You can even upload all of your analytics data in CSV format. A lot of you don't know that. I'm going to make a video on that. And it would really help you analyze all of your stuff and what's working for you and what video you should make next, things like that. So yeah, no, there's no truth. Anybody that says, oh, this one's better than that one, wait a day and it's going to change. Alrighty. Have you ever had someone interfere with your filming of a video out in the wild? I have not, but I am definitely out in the wild. Like I'm rural Nova Scotia. There's not a lot of density of people where I live. So, and I prefer it that way. So yeah, I don't get interrupted at all really. So, no, I understand. It's, if I did, I'd probably make a video about it. I'll say that. Like if I did get interrupted, I'd make a video about it. I mean, some people would, I suppose, and some people would not, but no, never happened to me. Graph paper, an engineer giveaway. Yeah. Yeah. I actually asked Gemini how it was different from the other chatbots. It gave me a pretty good rundown. That's funny. Yeah, sure. And asked the other ones what they think of Gemini. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because I actually had a chat with my son a while back now, but when I was, I was building an app or something, and I was telling him what my idea was, and I said, "Yeah, no, I'm using Claude Chat to tell me, like, to basically make a good prompt for me for Claude Code, and we're going back and forth, and Claude Chat thinks this is a good idea and that's a good idea, and I even asked Claude Chat afterwards, this app that I made, like, how long would it have taken me to make this, and how expensive would that have been, like, to hire software developers, and how much time would be needed if it was built the old way and not with AI. And Claude Chat told me, oh no, that you just saved yourself like $100,000 or whatever it was, and 6 months of work. Yeah, and I said that to Liam, and Liam says, oh really? So you asked AI how good AI was, and it said it was great. And that made me think that, yeah, you know what, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I would expect a different answer than that, but right? So you have to remind yourselves that it is AI. Can I do a demonstration video on a live stream? Absolutely. Liam the Cynic, yeah. I'm going to have Liam on again soon. I should ask him. It's always good to get a 27-year-old's take on the stuff a 57-year-old talks about, right? We have different perspectives. But yeah, no, you can do demonstration video on a live stream. Absolutely. You can demonstrate things on a screen, like software things. You can demonstrate like crafts, I guess. If you had a camera, like what I did with my iPhone, I showed what was on my desk, and you could demonstrate things that way. I could stand up and back up and demonstrate to you how I dance if I wanted to. But I'm not going to do that. But sure, you can demonstrate anything. Just decide what's the best way to show what it is you want to show. Do you want to share a screen, or do you want to show another camera angle, right? Make that decision first, and then you can kind of work back and figure out how to do it. Question, even though Gemini is Google chat box. What's the question though? Yeah, you're right. Gemini is made by Google. I mean, all of the large companies have their own AI chatbots. Gemini is made by Google. Copilot is made by Microsoft. Claude is made by Anthropic. OpenAI made ChatGPT, and Amazon's got one. I don't know what it's called. But yeah, they're all, but it doesn't matter who, I mean, they're all, I guess I don't know what your question is. But they all basically plug into the internet, and whatever questions you're asking, it'll go to the internet to get the answers. Keep that in mind. AI chatbots are not smart. They're not human. They will go get the information it can find for you, right? That's all it's doing. It's going to go get the information you've asked for. It'll go get it. If it's out there, it'll find it and get it and give it to you. But just remember that the information it gets might be incorrect if the incorrect information was on the internet, right? Gemini or Claude or ChatGPT or any of them don't have the ability to think to know what is true and what is not, what is correct and what is incorrect, right? It can only go by what it finds on the internet. It can maybe do some educated guesses based on what it finds on the internet, but, right? So, but yeah, it's like with anything you search for on Google, anything you find on Facebook, you have to take it all with a grain of salt and try to do your own critical thinking to understand what is true and what is not. But so I don't look at any of these chatbots as things that will have all the answers for me. If I want to know how to do something, I'll turn to them to try to find out. Like I will often go to a chatbot to learn how to use software, like how to click, like how do I build a certain thing in Kajabi, or how do I do something in Camtasia. Like I could go to AI to ask that question if I don't want to have to go to Google or YouTube and find it myself and watch through a video. These AI chatbots are making those search efforts more easier, quicker. But you have to know that it might return you some incorrect information. But where I think they really shine is in helping with the organizing of your thoughts and things like that. What else are we talking about here? Let me look at the live chat here. The Dirt Princess says it takes the easiest available and dumps it so it's fast. I think that's why it's wrong a lot. That could be. That could be. And I would think it would get better if that's the case. Lily says, I've begun to use various AI to help with titles, descriptions, tags, and thumbnail ideas. Yep, that's a good thing to use it for. That's what I do that too. Scott says, I, for one, welcome our robot overlords. Yeah, they make things a little bit easier for sure. Careful saying they're not smart, Rob. They're listening and they never forget. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're always listening. Sometimes I wonder if the AI chatbots plug into the ether. Thanks for the clarification. Critical thinking is the first option after. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to be able to disseminate the information. Like, you can get a whole lot of information. It's never been easier to get information than it is right now. And you have so many sources of information, be it social media, videos, Google search engines into websites, or AI searches, right? You can get so much information. But you have to be smart about what you're getting. Like, it might not, just because it's information doesn't mean it's correct. Nice Simpsons reference. Did I say one, or did I miss that? AI is a game changer for people with ADHD. I suppose it would be. AI talks itself into circles, Muddy Toes Farm. Yes, it could. I often tell them I don't agree or like, and they forget about prior chats. Yeah. It's funny. I mean, have you ever asked AI for something? Like, ever asked it, like, can you tell me, I don't know what, I can't even think of an example, but ask it for some information. It gives you the information, and then go back to AI and say, are you sure? And see what it says. Skynet has gone live and is self-aware. Yeah, Terminator reference there. Question for me from Traveling with Russell. How you doing, Russell? Perhaps look at your latest past live stream to see how many ads YouTube auto added to your video after the fact. Yeah, I could do that. At my latest live stream. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because there are no videos. There shouldn't be. I hope I turned monetization off. I always do. There's no monetization on my lives until after. Afterwards, I enable it. But I'm not going to in the future. Not yet, but that's one of the things I'm working on. Man, there's a lot of cat hair around here. Peanut might not be here, but Peanut is here, trust me. Help me out. What was I saying? My past live streams, monetization, right? Yeah, I'm going to turn. I'm not. So yeah, I leave it off during the lives so that you guys, I'm not interrupted. You guys don't see ads. Those of you who show up for the live, but I do enable them when this is done, so that I can earn some revenue from them. It's not a ton, but it's something, and I do this for a living, so I do that. But probably in about a month, some of the things I'm working on is going to require me to leave it off. Always, forever. There'll be no ads, except for the ads that I might put in there myself. So more on that later. I told Gemini last night, you're not very good at this. What did it say? Rock the dots. We've seen the dancing, LOL, but it's been a while though. Yeah, it has been a while, and I don't think I've danced since I did it on that hill a year ago. April Lynn Alter did a video on how YouTube has become duller because all the biggest channels are using outlier strategies to form their videos instead of creating original ideas. That's interesting. That's an interesting thought. Yeah, if everybody makes the same videos about the same things, then yeah, where's the new stuff? But hey, anybody who does make new stuff, I mean, no sense in really faulting anybody who does that, but those who try not to do that and actually do make unique, new content will be rewarded by as long as it's something people want to see, right? And that's the whole thing. I mean, people will make a video about a trending topic because it's trending, and therefore they're probably going to get a bunch of views for it. But the best way will always be to be the first to make a video of a certain idea, right? That's hard to do. That's hard to do. Oh, Russell said, I'm curious to see how many ads. I've never looked at that, Russell. Can I look at that now? Analytics. I don't know where I would look for that. It's not something I've ever looked at. For a video, if I go to earn on review mid-roll placement. Okay. Yeah, holy crap. Wow. Really? Okay, I'm going to show you where I found this. Let me share my screen now. All right, I think this is what you were looking for, Russell, and I had not ever done this. So we're looking at my analytics for last week's live stream. This is the one with 331 peak viewers. And here, if I go down to earn, review mid-roll placement, and holy crap, look at this. So it looks like if I click that, ad slot automatic, so 5 minutes in, and then 9 minutes in, and then 12, 16, and so on. If I go way down here, it looks like it's every minute. Is that right? Okay, so I've never looked at this, so I can't really talk intelligently. I'm showing you exactly what I'm seeing, but it's looking like after an hour, there's a ton of ads here. So let me ask you this, Russell, and anybody else who's noticed, if you've watched my live streams on the replay after there's been ads added, and if you've watched beyond an hour, is there indeed an ad every minute? Or could this just be, that's where an ad could be? You know what I mean? But for each person, they probably get an ad every 4 or 5 minutes or so. So that's what I thought. That's how I thought it worked, but I don't know. Russell says, that's right. I go back and delete the majority of them to leave about 3 or 4 or 5 ads only. Scott says, YouTube Premium, no ads here. Same with me. I have YouTube Premium as well. I'm more concerned about what my viewers are seeing, I guess. Because, well, as you saw, if I go back here, where am I going? Back this way? Yeah, so this video in 7 days has earned me, sorry, not a video, it's a live stream, last week's live stream. My best one ever in terms of views has earned me $60 in a week, which is pretty good. That includes super chats. I don't remember if I had many super chats last week or not. But that's pretty good, but I don't know that it's worth all of, where'd it go? Earn. Yeah, like that's ridiculous. I don't want that many. Anyways, bottom line though is they're going to go away because I'm figuring out a better way. Sorry, while you're here, let's just keep looking at this. Let's go back to channel content. Let's go to the one before that. Analytics, so not as well, still 4,000 views, 277. Let's go to earn. Review mid-roll placement. Okay, there you go. That one was not like that. Why the difference? And I have not been here before. I have never been here. And that was a 2-hour live stream. And it had, I don't know, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so about 10 ads for the whole thing. The other one had like 100. And what did this, so this, and this one earned $60 as well in 2 weeks. Question, is it showing a different ad to different viewers? Yes, 100%, absolutely, it does. Yeah, I don't get to choose what ads are showing. I get to include certain keywords for ads I don't want to show, like if I don't want any bad language or things like that. I can say that. No, the way it works is you as the viewer will be served an ad that YouTube thinks you want to watch. That YouTube thinks it might be something you want to buy. So that would be different for everybody, right? So yeah, that's the only way around that I know of is if I'm selling a course or like the program starting next week. Hint, hint, if anybody's interested, the link is down below to apply. I can talk about that in my video, right? Or in my live stream. And then it's a hard-coded, self-created ad, right? YouTube has to run that many ads to pay for their AI data centers. That could very well be. It's trying to find natural breaks in the stream where it thinks it's appropriate to place one. Yes, I understand that, but I don't understand one every minute. So I'm going to do some digging into that. I think the Spiffing Brit, that's a funny name, did a test on this idea by placing thousands of ads on the video to see if it can break YouTube. Huh. Miko Bells says, yes, it does have a lot of ads. That's why I try to get it live. Okay, duly noted. Ads have been increasing over the weeks. I'm pissed YouTube is going up in subscription prices after they literally just did this a few months ago. Are they? You mean YouTube Premium is going up? I didn't know. The really long ads with AI voice scripts are not easy to let run. Okay. Premium. All right. It is showing a different ad to different viewers. Yeah. Looks like you can delete any ads. Why don't we do that then? Let's go back to last week's live stream. I mean, not that this matters much now. But yeah, if I clicked here, can I just delete that? Turn off automatic ad slots. Changing or deleting auto-place slots turns off automatic ad slots feature. Yeah, I don't think I'm ready to do that yet. I don't know. I need to look into this more. Let me back out of here. Got to be careful what I do live. Oh, Scott says, I just looked at mid-roll ad placement on my last Wednesday night live stream, and it looked like yours with dozens once a minute after the first hour. Interesting. Yeah, September 23rd, prices are going up. Really? Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, Honestly, the price could be $100 a month for YouTube Premium and I would still pay it because of how much time I spend on YouTube. I wouldn't like it, but it would still be worth it to me. But yeah, no, it sucks. It always sucks when prices go up. Question, can a broad niche make it? I'm 8 months in, 92 videos, 152 subs, slow growth to say the least, maybe too many topics. I film daily projects, daily living, recreation, thoughts. Yeah, that sounds to me like too many things. Too many. Yes, you can have too many topics. If you want to grow fast, don't do that. One general idea, general theme for your videos is the best way to go if you want to grow, okay? Now, some people will tell me, say, well, there's this real popular channel and they, make a different video on a different thing every time and they're doing great. Well, that may be, and that absolutely that happens, but I bet you anything that, well, no, I'm not much of a gambler, but in all likelihood, that is not how they started their channel. They probably started their channel with one thing and they rode that for quite a while, build their audience. Then people want to get to know them more, so they start doing things a little bit outside of their niche. And, what a very well-established channel does and the content they make, what works for a large channel doesn't necessarily or likely won't work for a small channel. You need to get your name out there. You need to establish a footing. And the best way to do that is just pick a narrow niche, stay narrow, and make a whole bunch of videos about the same thing. And you may not want to do that forever, and that's fine. But doing that in the beginning is the best if you want to grow a channel. Question, I'm noticing the XP points. How can a creator use this information, or is it just for fun for the live participants? As far as I know, it's just for fun. It's another metric that YouTube provides. Like, who knows how YouTube really uses all these things? The XP points, the crowns, the number 1, number 2, number 3, like the people who post the most. And then we can even get into watching videos, the like button, the super thanks, the hype button even, right? Like the share button. All these things are ways to engage with a video, to share it with others, and then see what they do. A comment section as well. These are all ways to engage with the video. Exactly how YouTube uses all those things to figure out, how many impressions to give a video, nobody knows, right? And nobody can really know. Like that's buried deep inside the algorithm, and they make changes on top of changes, and it's ultimately driven by viewers anyways. Like there's no way to know that. All I can really say is all of these things are different ways to measure how well a video is doing, how much people are liking the video, and how much a video should be pushed out to be seen more. But the exact formula, nobody knows, and there's no way to know. What do you predominantly watch, since you said you're on YouTube, watch a lot, worth paying the premium increase even to $100? What do I watch? Well, I watch, the NFL football season's coming up, so I watch videos on my Detroit Lions to see how I think they might be doing. So I watch football stuff. I watch sailing videos. There's some channels that I watch, people who sail around the world, racing videos, sailing. I like watching DIY type stuff. And I watch a lot in my own niche, like people who make videos like I make. I watch vidIQ videos. I watch Nick Nimmin. I watch Brian Johnson's videos. Right? I watch videos from my clients as well to see how they're making out. All kinds of stuff. But I'm on YouTube many hours every day. And I've been paying for YouTube Premium for many years, since well before I got monetized, since well before I was doing this as my primary source of income. Jen, Jen says Scott loves his crown. Yeah, when you said that, I thought you meant Crown Royal. I said, well, okay, well, yeah. Those who like Crown like Crown. That's what my dad drinks, Crown. But yes, his crown. Yeah, Scott's #1. Where is Scott? There he is. I just looked at my mid-roll ad. Oh, it looks like mine. KJ McLean, go Pack. Ooh. Although I would love to see a game in Green Bay. That's one state. I've been to a lot of stadiums, and that's one I have not been to. And I'd love to go, even if Detroit wasn't playing. But yeah, I am a big Detroit Lion fan. For those who weren't sure who I cheer for, I got to get on a work call. All right, Scott, take care, buddy. Someone else is free to claim the crown. All right, batter up. Where do you get your inspiration for new videos? Yeah, this doesn't feel quite right yet. I got a new one. This is brighter. I don't know where the other one went. But yeah, I wear them out, so I have to keep getting them replaced. I've got to break that one in. It feels too new. My inspiration, I get them from other people in my niche. I get them, actually, I probably get most of my inspiration from you guys, either in these live stream chats or by answering comments in my videos. I get a lot there. And you know, if I make a video and then people have comments or questions, if I get a lot of comments on a video, that's a good signal that I can talk about it some more, especially if I say something that people don't agree with, or if I'm proven wrong. I'm not always right. Branding hat in effect, yeah. Then I can make a clarification video, or I'm sorry I was wrong video. I've done that before. Oh, Mike's going to take the crown away. Go, Mike. Have your views and watch time gone up since the big YouTube panic? No, I wouldn't say so. What is that? Mike Adventures sent a gift? And it looks like a red pepper. What is that? You guys breaking YouTube on me? I don't know what that is. Times 22, 23? What is that? I don't know what that is. I don't know what you did, Mike. Oh, it just went away. Sent chili for 6 joules. Interesting. I don't know what that means. What do you use YouTube Premium for? When you have YouTube Premium, when you're watching YouTube videos, you don't get any ads. So YouTube Premium is to watch YouTube ad-free. That's what it is. And it allows you, I believe it also allows you to download videos to watch offline, if that's ever an issue. And actually it kind of is for me sometimes. Like when I go walking on the trail, there's usually one direction I always go, but sometimes if I go the other direction, I lose cell service, and I listen to music. So if I lose cell service, and I usually listen to music through YouTube, actually, a YouTube video. But yeah, so in order for me to not lose that music, I have to download the YouTube video, and YouTube Premium allows you to do that. Question, do you watch on TV or mostly computer? Computer. For me, it's computer or phone. I mean, when I'm watching on TV, I'm usually watching something different. It might be Netflix or Prime or something like that, or football game. No, I personally don't watch a lot of YouTube on TV, but I know a lot of people do, and I have. But for me, I'm usually in my office right here with my 3 screens and thinking about, you know, my next video, stuff like that. Question, Rob, what filter do you use on your Sigma 16mm f1.4? No filter. There's no filter on it at all. And that's exactly what the lens is that I use. Use my phone to show you. That is the lens you're talking about, and there's no filter on the front of that. There is a ring on that, and that is for my teleprompter, which I haven't used in months. But the ring stays there. Question, can we all get the blue eye filter you use? Boy, your eyes are blue. You think? It's just the light. It's just light. My eyes are blue, I guess. Blue-gray, maybe? It is a good camera. It's a good camera. It's got good color. Green Bay has the frozen tundra in the winter. Yeah. I lived in Wisconsin for 6 months 20-odd years ago, but never got up there to see a game. I actually got to Minneapolis to see a game there while I was there. I was actually closer to Minneapolis, but what's all this? I'm an elephant in the chat. A hydrated turtle sticker just filled my screen. What's going on? This looks like a hamburger and a gift up top. I think YouTube is adding some features that I don't know about yet. Sophia. Hey, Sophia. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Sent star for 2 jewels. You guys are in some kind of competition, I guess, for the top fans thing. Mike is number 1 now. Took it over from Scott. You guys can probably see that too if you click the top fans button at the top. Scott says, jewels and stickers are available at the first level of monetization. They are a way to send love to the creator. It shows up as dollars in your earnings in studio. Really? Interesting. Well, I know there's super chats, but interesting. Hey, Mrs. G, how you doing? Question, does your family ever say time to stop or you're late for dinner and it's cold? Nope. Nope. I am left undisturbed in my office here. This is fun being able to mess with Rob's stickers. Have been out for a while. Yeah, I'm going to have to see what that's all about. Hey, Sophia. YouTube trying to compete with TikTok. Well, yeah, you're probably not wrong. Probably not wrong. Mike sent a laughing disco for 250 jewels. There you go, Mike. I am my beloveds. I did my first live on Sunday. I actually had people show up. I had set to do one every Sunday going forward. I need to set up a way I can see and respond to comments. It will get better from here. Congrats on getting started. That is awesome. And to see and respond to comments, make sure your live chat and live chat replay is on. So you'll be able to go back and see the live chat afterwards. You won't be able to see it right away afterwards. It has to process. And what I've noticed is it takes about 12 hours before my live chats show back up. What is that? Scott. Oh, neat. YouTube lets me send a highlighted message because I've been a member for 12 months. Neato. That's cool. Well, thank you, Scott, for being a member for so long. That is awesome. That's kind of the thing that I'm working towards too, like memberships and streaks, how many live streams people show up to in my lives. I want to be able to know when someone's been to 10 straight live streams without missing one, or 20 live streams, their 20th live stream. And that's the kind of thing I'm going to be able to do with this app that I'm building. Because YouTube doesn't store live chat messages, okay? Comments they store, and I've created an app, Comment Scoop, that scoops comments, that you can try to figure out what questions people were asking and try to figure out what video to make next, okay? That's cool. Comment Scoop. That's what I created that for. But live chats are not stored and you can't get them with the YouTube API. So the only way to do that, and actually Scott found a way that we talked earlier in the week or last week about something he found in the Google Chrome as an extension, something that would be able to kind of capture all the live chats. So that's cool. And I guess that's part of what I'm building, is a way to capture it all and store it all in a database and be able to do things with, like have, you know how I'm using Ecamm to display messages on screen? Well, I'm going to be able to, like, for example, I'm going to be able to rig it up so that anytime a member of mine posts something, their comment automatically shows up on the screen somewhere. Like, I can do that. I can assign my own custom emojis or scoring system, like the crowns here or whatever, custom emojis showing up for certain people. People who maybe like a number 10 streak for people who've shown up 10 straight weeks, right? Now, of course, you will have had to enter a chat in a live stream for my system to recognize that you've been there. But things to kind of encourage people to chat more and I'm even thinking about something cool for the ending of my live streams that involves music and some other fun things. Scrolling chat messages and some fun stuff like that. But anyway, I probably said way too much already because I don't even know where it's going to go, but that's what my mind does. So you can't pull live chat from the API after it's processed. No, you can't. No, they don't store it. I'll be very interested in that app if you ever decide to sell that. Yeah, and I thought about that, but the more I think about it, I don't know if I could be able to make it in a way that it would be sellable. Like, it would be complicated to set up. So, enough, returning to dinner, making now, keeping your live here in the background, but I'm always here. All right, good to know, Sophia. Enjoy dinner. Rob seems like a genuinely kind individual. His biggest flex? Yeah, I'm flexing my kind muscle. Thank you. That's a compliment. Thank you very much. Glad to hear you've been in Minneapolis, Rob. That's the area where I live. Hope you enjoyed your visit. I did. When I lived in Wisconsin, it was right on the Mississippi in La Crosse, Wisconsin, which is about 2 hours south of Minneapolis. That's where I was. And I was there with a whole bunch of other people learning from this company who had just hired us. And like 20 of us went up to Minneapolis to see a game. It was Miami, and it was 1990-something, 1995, I think, the old stadium. And there was a post in my way, so it wasn't a great view. But that was my first ever NFL game that I went to. Question, how does YouTube compensate content creators for viewers who don't see the ads? YouTube Premium. So some of my ad revenue is called YouTube Premium ad revenue. So exactly how, they don't really share. All I can tell you is that I do get some compensation from YouTube Premium. From the premiums they collect, they pay out some of it to the creators. I just don't know what the formula is. I don't know that they even share that. Not like the 55% formula they share for all the regular viewers. That is kind of known. But I'll say that the YouTube premiums that I get, it's like maybe 5% of the YouTube ad revenue that I get. Maybe 5% comes from YouTube Premium. So it's not a lot. But I don't think a lot of people actually get YouTube Premium. I don't think a lot of people pay for it. I think most people who watch on YouTube watch the ads. So Scott says we had a good team back in the late 90s. Oh, so yeah, your team was probably Miami, of course. Yes, Scott, you're down in Florida. Yes, you did have a good team. You did have a good team. I don't think you have a good team right now. Although Tampa's not too bad, but yeah, you're down closer to Miami. Very nice. La Crosse is a beautiful area, and there are plenty of time. Yeah, it was beautiful. Tell you one thing I did while I was there. I had also never seen a college football game, and you Americans, you know how much you love your college football. I can't get over it. Like, I can't believe, like, here in Canada, well, hockey is our number one sport, but my number one sport is actually NFL football, which we don't have in Canada. But I digress. Like, not many people watch college sports here in Canada. It's the pros. That's the big thing. But in the States, like, and I found this out when I went to Wisconsin. It's like, yeah, we got the Packers, we got the not the Twins, the Vikings, and but we also have the Madison or the UW Badgers, and it's like, okay, what's that? Well, that's college. That's our college. That's our university. So okay, cool. But like, I just didn't understand. But I learned it while I was there, that everybody loves their college football so much. So what I did, and I did this completely by myself. A buddy of mine was going to go with me, but he drank too much the night before, so he didn't go. It was an early morning on a Saturday. I got up and I drove, I think, 7 hours to Lincoln, Nebraska. So from La Crosse, I had to drive into Minnesota, down into Iowa, to like, I remember seeing Des Moines off in the distance, and then I had to make a right and across through Omaha and into Nebraska, Lincoln. And that was a cool drive. I mean, so that would have been like September, I guess. Or October or November, I don't know, to see the Cornhuskers. And it was unbelievable. I got there a little late, so the first quarter had already started. I did not have a ticket. I just drove. I knew the game. It was a big game. It was, at the time, Nebraska and Colorado, and they were ranked number 1 and number 2. And so I knew it was a big game. Even though I didn't follow college football, I was a big sports fan. And I am a big sports fan. I love sports. So I wanted to go for the experience. And I show up there. First of all, I drove into Lincoln, and the biggest building in that town is the football stadiums. I had no trouble finding it. Remember, back then, 1994, I would have had like printed out MapQuest maps to try to figure out how to get there. No cell phone. And got into town. No one's around. It's like a ghost town, except for this stadium where you could hear the cheers if you get close to it with the window down. So I got out, I parked, nobody's around. There was a couple of security guys walking around the outside. I was able to buy a ticket off of somebody, a scalped ticket for like $25. And I got in there before the first quarter was over. So I missed the beginning, and I guess I probably missed a lot. But anyways, I got in there and sat down. I was the only guy in blue jeans and a blue shirt, because Nebraska Cornhuskers are all red and white, and the visiting team was like gold and black. So I looked like I did not belong there, and I didn't, but it was pretty cool. And it really opened my eyes to how much you guys like your university sports. That was unbelievable. I'll never forget that. And that's, to this date, the only college game I've ever gone to. So there you go. We've got a super chat. Fiery Guy, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And are you saying you can't download the live chat, or that you can't see all chat from the live? I'm saying you can't download, well, there's not a reliable way to download the chat. I can go back, and once the live chat is processed, I can go to the video and kind of follow it along and watch it back if I'm watching it back. But no, there's no way to download it like you can download comments, right? So, but I can see it, like I'm looking at it right now, and then when this live is over, and I stop this, I won't be able to see it again for many hours. And after many hours, I will be able to see it again once it's all been processed, as long as I had selected to turn on live chat and to turn on live chat replay. As the guy who sets up the live stream ahead of time, I scheduled it, I have to have checked those two boxes. That's the only way that'll work. Mike says, yes, that's I-80, and I drive plenty of times. Oh, do you really? Well, I'll tell you what, I have never seen so much corn in all my life as when I was driving. So yeah, that'll tell you when it was. That would have been before it was harvested, because it was long corn stalks. drove through Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, and by the time I got there, I understood why they called them the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Made total sense when I got there. Just saw R.I.P. Dolly Parton. Really? Dolly Parton pass away? No. Oh no, she did. 80. R.I.P. Dolly Parton. Not sad. My brothers watch college football a lot. They know future top recruits. Oh, really? Very good. Dirt Princess says, especially here in the South, we have Auburn and the Crimson Tide and others. People are crazy for their teams. Well, I'll tell you, you mentioned Auburn and the Crimson Tide, Alabama. So when I was in Wisconsin for those 6 months, it was a really cool experience. I was hired by the parent company, hired like 50 people from mostly all over the States, but 3 of us from Canada, and I'm going to say a dozen or so from overseas, like the Philippines and Taiwan and like in Asia. And also, like I remember there was a guy from South Africa, I think a guy from the UK, but mostly from the States. And this company has offices all around the States and all across Canada. But what was cool was the 35 or so kids, I mean, we were all like 26, 27 years old. The 35 or so who were from the States were from all over the States. And all of us got to meet each other and be with each other for 6 months and learn together before we were then sent off to our own offices. And it was really cool because I had never lived in the States. I was from East Coast Canada. But they had a big map of North America, of the world really, in the back of the main classroom, and we would go back there, like, where are you from? Oh, I live right there. And so, yeah, I just got to learn all these cultures. But I remember there was this one guy who was from Alabama, but he was such an Auburn fan, the Auburn Tigers. And I got to know him very well, and he was very nice, and his wife actually went up with him. He was one of the younger guys who was actually married. Just it was cool. The one thing that stood out that I remember, his wife's name was Wendy, and the only reason I remember that is the way he said it. He called her Windy, like W-I-N-D-Y, and I guess that's how you say Wendy when you're from because he was from Alabama, and he would say Windy. I said, Windy with an I? No, with an E, Windy. I just thought that was kind of cute, I guess, or just different. And that is where I found out that I say about. I was going to say wrong, but it's not wrong. It's different than the Americans say it. It's like, you say a boot. No, I do not say a boot. I say I don't say about, but so anyway, that's, I guess, my coming of age. That's so it was really cool. And I learned how much everybody, all those 26-year-olds valued their college football way more than professional. If I live stream 2 hours, I'm wiped out. I don't know how he does it. But then again, it's not 10 p.m. right now either. No, it's 10 to 5. Wow, this has been almost 3 hours. Yeah, let's not go past 3 hours. I'm not going to be here that much longer. Us Alabamians are born and bred football fans. Well, we got a couple of your Alabama football, college football stars in Detroit. We got, who is it? Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs. I think they were both Crimson Tide. Question, I am a recipe channel that matches my food blog. Any suggestions on how to make longer videos as I am trying to increase my watch hours? Most of my videos are 5 minutes or so. I mean, there's a bunch. I don't know what you normally do with your videos, but you could just have a chat about your YouTube journey. You could have a chat about how you, right? Like just like a fireside chat, or go sit out on the porch and have a chat with a friend and just record it all. I mean, not with a friend there. I mean, chat to your camera like it's a friend and talk about your whole experience cooking and how you prepare and right. If you can tell a story and talk about a story for a long period of time, people will be interested and they'll want to watch that. It's something it takes a while to get used to, but I would try that. Try something slightly different. Mrs. G, I'm from Georgia and people say I have an accent. Yeah. When people say you have an accent, it just means they are not from where you're from. Because if you guys who are not from here probably think I have an accent. Like accents are just, I think they're cool. I think when people just sound different than what you're used to, I like it. It's cool. Bernard says, I sound very normal to you. Really? And where are you, Bernard? Are you in Nova Scotia? Maybe that's why I sound normal to you. Oh no, you say it's 10 p.m. there. Okay, so you're not Nova Scotia. It's 5. You're 5 hours ahead of me. So you're like in Germany. Well, Bernard might be a German name, maybe. You're over in Europe somewhere, probably, or in Africa, I suppose. Let's go Notre Dame. We're the champions. Cool. Yeah, I remember driving. I had to drive by South Bend to get to Wisconsin. Now we're talking football. What do you think about foreigners recording videos in English, even though they are not very fluent English speakers? I think it's fantastic. I think if you want to reach an English audience and you're not that confident or comfortable with your English, it's not your first language, I say go for it anyways, if that's who you want to reach, if that's who you want to make videos for. I can tell you from an English speaker, I appreciate it when people speak my language, even though it's not that comfortable for them to do so. Like, thank you for going out of your way and trying, because I can't speak any other language, a tiny bit of French, and maybe I understand a word or two of Spanish, but I can't speak really those languages. I find it hard. So yeah, just because you don't think you sound perfect in English, don't let that stop you, because, people who just want to hear you talk or want the information you have to provide don't care if it's perfect English or not. It doesn't matter. It's totally fine. So I say go for it. You don't, but you do say about differently. I do say it differently, differently than some, but it sounds totally fine to me. And I thought it sounded perfectly normal until I was about 26. And all those American kids told me, you sound different. Oh, Scott says, anyone post a video today and notice a slight increase in views due to the new method of counting views? I have not. I did, actually, vidIQ has a good video out that I watched. I think they posted it earlier today that talked about that, and it didn't look like they noticed much of a difference. I think that one is probably much ado about nothing. KJ McLean, I used to guide bus tours of 54 Americans. I always knew the first time I said A in front of them because they'd all light up in grins. Yeah, it's just part of, I guess, the way yeah, you're in Canada too then, I guess, A. It's just part of the language, which is funny because a lot of TV that I watch is, like growing up, has been American stations is what we get here. I mean, we have our Canadian stations, but here in East Coast Canada, we had, like, our cable stations were based out of Boston and some out of Detroit. So, yeah, Boston has their own accent too, though, which is actually very similar to South Shore, Nova Scotia, the Boston, Massachusetts, or New England accent. You know what, guys? I'm going to have to go. This has been long. I'm getting tired. I'm getting hungry. My water, I've got a little bit of water left, but yeah, before I go, again, last chance, anybody interested in my mentorship program, you can apply below, and I'll get back to you like almost right away because we're trying to fill this up today or tomorrow. So that link is there for you if you're interested. What else? Look for a video. I was hoping to get a video out today. I'm running out of time. It's 5 o'clock already, so it might be tomorrow now. think that's it. Have a wonderful day. And watch for my next videos. And if you have any questions at all about anything, feel free to ask them here in the chat or when the chat shuts down in the comments below. Thanks for this. It's been fun today, and I hope you have a great day. Cheers, guys.